And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Thank you for your patience this morning. Had a little meeting that went on a little bit longer than we anticipated. So thank you for being here with us on Wake Up Call, where sports meets life. We are up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us on Wake Up Call inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, and of course, they're always open online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com, so make sure you get in touch with them today. Let them know that DT sent you. It is the only place that I've gotten my vehicles for over a decade's worth of time, because I stay where I value, I stay where I feel appreciated, and I love the Honda product. I really do. I love the product. I'm a big fan of the CR-V, but, I love a lot of different cars there and trucks and whatnot. My dad has a Ridgeline. I love the Ridgeline. If I were to get a truck, I'd definitely look into getting a Ridgeline. So can't say enough about Great Lakes Honda City, how they've treated me, and truly appreciate the family over Great Lakes Honda City. So thank you so much. Make sure you head out there today, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. We got a lot of stuff coming on the show today. The annoying moment of the week, the longest standing segment on Wake Up Call. We're going to have some fun with that. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A in Cicero. Lead stands for learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Once again, that is the acronym's meaning. Then we'll get in the top dog of the week at the top of the second hour, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, where I get to honor a person, group, or organization. Very excited about that. And then we'll get into the NFL draft. For those of you that were with us watching online last night or on site on location at Pizza Man, I want to thank you so much for being a part of it. We have done our live draft coverage from Pizza Man Pub on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York for many years. We did, I think, 2 years in a row, and then I was in Italy last year, and so we did it again this year, brought it back as I am home here in Central and upstate New York, so I had the opportunity to do that again. I want to thank my incredible co-hosts, Al Romano, who won a championship with the Pitt Panthers, and Tony Dorsett in the world of college football, coming from Salve and then going on to win a national championship in college football Division I. And I also want to thank Cookie, Jeff Cookie Cook, who was there with me, the Beeville Bills backers president. And as we know, Pizza Man is a Bills bar. So, they welcome every single team and every single fan, but they are huge supporters of the Buffalo Bills. So I want to give a shout out to Cookie as well and show him some love. Always appreciate how prepared he is and just everything that he brings to the table. So shout out to my guy Cookie. Really appreciate you. A lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So I can't thank y'all enough, and I want to give a shout out to the Delia family, to Jimmy Delia and everybody over at Pizza Man for treating me as well as they have over the years, many years of partnership. We started our partnership during COVID, and I appreciate all the partners that I have and their belief in me and their faith in me and my company and how I do what I do and why I do what I do, and I give God all the glory for that. Jimmy and I started working together during COVID. So not only did he believe in me, he believed in me at a time where a lot of people were, I don't want to say a lot of people, but some people were closing up their doors and, freaking out and didn't know what was going to happen. He was advantageous, and he partnered with my company and with Wake Up Call, and we've gotten to do so many wonderful things since that partnership began, and I can't thank Jimmy enough. So truly appreciate you, Jimmy, and I hope you got some rest, because I know there's been a lot going on, and hoping the best for your girls and the whole family, and hope you all have fun and that your wife and one of your daughters travel safe over the weekend here, because I know you got some good things going on for dance, and so hoping the best for you and the family. A lot of great stuff coming up, though. Last night, we did our mock draft. We actually took everything we typically do at Pizza Man, and we expanded it. So we started our show a little after 7 p.m. Eastern time last night. We did our mock draft. So Cookie, Al, and I didn't see each other's sheets, didn't know who we thought. We all did a mock draft. We went picks 1 through 32 and stated who we thought would go where, if any trades would happen, and so on and so forth. So Cookie gave his first pick, second pick, third pick, and on. Al did the same, and I did too. You can go back and watch that video on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Make sure you do that. It's also shared on our social media. So we had and the audio version is shared as well. So we had the opportunity to go through our mock draft. And as we were going through our mock draft, the actual draft started and they crossed. So we were going through our mock draft, saying who we thought would get picked, and then we were analyzing who was getting picked at the time. So we stayed with you for the first few picks while we were also doing our mock draft. So we had in-draft analysis and our prediction analysis of the entire first round. After that all happened last night, we stayed there pretty much until the end of the first round. Al stayed for a while, and then Cookie and I stayed almost to the end of the first round of the NFL draft. This morning is a continuation of last night's broadcast, as I will round out today's show by speaking with you about the results. How did everything shake out? Was I right? Was I wrong? How do I assess the first round of the draft? What surprised me? What didn't? So all that's coming up here as we'll take a look at the big board of round one of the draft. And so you see the board up on your screen for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube and following on X as well. That is the big board. I'll be assessing that board, what I got right, what I got wrong, and if I got the name wrong, right, if it's not that exact player, do they still draft that position? So we'll get into all of those pieces as well and my overall thoughts on round one. So as we brought you into the draft last night, we're bringing you out of round one this morning on Wake Up Call in continuation, which is why you got to watch and listen to every episode of Wake Up Call, because like a show, they're connected to each other. So make sure that you stay with us this morning as we talk about the draft to round out the week. But first and foremost, we got to get into the annoying moment of the week. The annoying moment of the week is proudly presented by the wonderful team. And Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I am so proud to have the annoying moment of the week here with you. And we're actually shopping it now. We have the opportunity to bring it to a special partner. It's the first time that the annoying moment of the week has been available for somebody to work with. So if you are a business that's watching and listening, make sure you reach out to us, because this is our longest standing segment. And it's something that I've absolutely loved to do for many, many years. So I'm very excited about what the future is going to be for the annoying moment of the week. But let's get into the annoying moment of the week. So again, I think there's different things on my mind for the annoying moment of the week. I would have to say there's a few things. And one of those things I'm going to call myself out on. Appreciating your blessings instead of complaining about what you don't have. That's an annoying moment. I'm going to call myself out on that. Okay? When you go through a tough time in your life, or you go through some adversity, or something bothers you in your life, I tend to focus on the thing that's bothering me as opposed to the blessings that I have. So, and then I reflect on it, and then I have to learn from it and make sure that I do it right the next time. You know, you go through something in your life and you call up mom, call up dad, you call up your best friend, your brothers, in my case, my sister. And it's funny because when I talk to my little sister, when I talk to Franny, who's playing at Lemoyne this weekend, and if they win against Central Connecticut State, Lemoyne will host the entire NEC Women's Lacrosse postseason tournament, which means my little sister will be at home Thursday, April 30th, and God willing, Saturday, May 2nd as well next week. So hopes and prayers that everything works out. Obviously, may the best team win and all of that good stuff. I'm just hoping and praying for everybody to stay healthy and to have fun. And I just, selfishly, I really want to see my little sister next week here in Syracuse. But it's funny, when it comes to my sister, there's certain things I won't even bring to her table anymore. Like, I might complain about something, be frustrated about something, but when I see her, I already know her answer. I already kind of know where she's going to go. And so I told her very minimal about something. And she was like, yeah, you're better off anyways. And I mean, it wasn't even a conversation. But what I'm getting at is when we talk to our loved ones, I love that my dad will talk me through something. My mom will talk me through something. My close friends will talk me through something. But you also realize, like, no day is promised, no moment is promised. And when I look back on stuff, I'm like, man, I wish I talked to Isaac about different things. over the past few weeks. I wish I listened more to my mom's schedule and what she had going on. I wish I did something earlier with my dad or got something done with my dad as opposed to talking about this. And so you realize those things afterward, right? Hindsight 2020. But then you have to make sure that if and when the next time something happens, that you don't do those things again. It's one thing to witness and understand that you need to make a change and to have that epiphany moment, but that epiphany moment doesn't mean anything if the next time you're in a similar situation, you forget that epiphany and you fall back into old habits. And so I was talking to my dad about something yesterday, and he was like, you just have to conscientiously focus on making sure that you do these things. Because I'm like, how do you do it? He's like, you just have to do it. You have to commit to it. You have to do it. It's kind of like, when people say, I want to look good, I want to feel good, what do I need to do? Well, you need to get off the couch. You need to go take a walk. You need to get in the gym. You don't want to go to the gym, lift some weights at home. So, you have to commit to the craft. When people say, I want to eat healthy, and they're sitting there eating chips and cookies and all this stuff, they have to just commit to that. And you have to be willing to start a habit. Now, they say a habit takes 21 days. 21 is my favorite number. But they say a habit takes 3 weeks. It's funny because there's a rule of 3 in my life: 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. And it kind of goes along the habit line too, is that people will show you who they are within a certain amount of time. And there's a rule of 3 in my life. And it has happened so consistently that I don't even say it anymore. My mom will say it. My dad will say it. My best friend will say it. Somebody will come to me and say to me, hey, Dan, the rule of 3. Remember your rule of 3. And it's true. It's very accurate. And so, I would say my annoying moment of the week is that I've learned so many things in my life. But my dad said something to me yesterday. He goes, yeah, you got to learn this and you got to do this and you got to do that. But you also have to be honest with yourself when something isn't working and something isn't good, and you have to see signs, and you have to be willing to walk away from things when signs present themselves. And it just hit me that my dad's 100% correct. There's ways that I will not, be it romance, be it business, be it friendship. There are ways that I will not talk to people. And so my dad will call me out. My mom will call me out. My close friends, my brothers, my little sister, they'll call me out. They'll say, why did you allow that to happen? Like, you can't control what somebody says or does. But why would you be around somebody saying or doing those things? And they were absolutely right. My dad was like, pay attention to the way that people speak to you and the way that people treat you. You have to be willing to see signs. You have to be willing to notice things. And because I'm the type of person where I'm like, okay, nobody's perfect. People are going to make mistakes, right? But people are who they continuously show themselves to be. And I remember my dad said something to me a long time ago. I was dating somebody way back. It was right when I graduated college. And I had dated the girl for, let's say, 11 months. And my dad said, when were you happy with this person? I said, the first 3 months. He said, and what about... He said, when were you happy? I said, the first 3 months. And he goes, and you've been miserable for the last 8. And I said, yeah, but this is who she was in the first 3 months, and I'm trying to get back to that. I'm trying to get her back to that place, right? And he said, if she was this person for 3 months and this person for 8 months, who do you think is the real person? And what I've realized in life, going off what my dad said, is everyone in this world has the opportunity to present a facade, right? But the truth always comes out. Like, you can come up and talk to me today, and if you don't disrespect me or treat me some kind of way, you can come up and talk to me 10 years from now, and I'm going to be the same person. I'm going to grow, I'm going to learn, I'm going to gain knowledge and wisdom, but I'm going to be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's everything? How's your family? Like, I am who I am. And my friend Lisa said something to me many years ago, and it was crazy because she said it on a day where in the background, my life was getting shaken up. And I didn't know at the time that my life was getting shaken up. I had no idea. So she's saying this thing to me, and I'm not knowing like what's going on in my life at the time. So as she's talking to me, we're having this conversation, right? And she says to me, she goes, "Do you realize that you've achieved something that is almost impossible? It's very rare." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was at my godmother's house, my godmother and my godfather, Annie Lane and Uncle Jimmy. And I was at their house, and I'm hanging out with Lisa, and we're in the kitchen. And she goes, and the person I was with was giving me the silent treatment and not really telling me what was going on in their life, which is crazy because we were together for many years. And Lisa goes, "You've achieved something that is really hard to do. It's very rare." And I'm looking at her, I'm going, "What are you talking about?" Because it came out of nowhere. She said, "If someone met you when you were 3 years old, or they met you when you were a teenager in high school, or they met you in college, or they met you now, we would all describe the same person. You somehow, no matter what life has thrown at you, essentially, you have never stopped being you." She goes, "Do you know how hard it is to remain yourself when the world and time, essentially, attack us all, right? There's not time attack, but things happen." And she said, "You have stayed yourself. You've kept your morals and your values throughout your entire life. We would all describe Daniel the same way. And you have no idea how rare that is and how hard that is and how much she appreciated that." And that was the day I found out that somebody was cheating on me. And I had no idea. So I always look back to that, and I always say, God was covering me from the storm that I was about to face. God was reminding me of who I am, knowing that chaos was going to try and make me forget who I was. And that conversation with Lisa helped me to take care of myself and remember who I am at a time where you can lose yourself. And that just said something to me. And it meant something to me. And what I've learned in life is I learn a lot of things coming out of bad things, right? I learn a lot of things coming out of bad relationships, friendships, romance, business. I learn a lot, but I hold it. I hold on to it. I hold on to that pain and that strife. And I was watching something this morning, and Harrison Ford is talking to Jason, is it Jason Segel? But these two actors, and they're talking to each other, and Jason's talking about his scars. And he's like, I'm covered in scars. And Harrison Ford responds to him and says, in this TV show, he responds to him and he says, "Well, that's great." He goes, "I'm 42 years old and I'm covered in scars." And he's like, "Well, that's great. That means you lived a real life. Like, you lived a full life. You've actually experienced life if you're covered in scars. But you have to let them go." And it is true. Those of us that choose to love and be honest and be consistent and show up, we will get hurt. We will. And I don't want any warm hearts out there that are listening and watching this to turn cold, because you will get hurt. If you love, you will get hurt. If you care, you will get hurt. If people matter to you, if animals matter to you, if things matter to you, you will get hurt. If you show up consistently, you will get hurt. If you're a person of your word, you will get hurt. If you're someone who will forgive and give somebody an opportunity to do better, you will get hurt. All of these fruits of the Spirit, if you practice them, you will get hurt. And people say, "Well, why would God let that happen?" God let his son die on the cross. God let his son hurt more than you, I, or anybody's ever going to get hurt. Because suffering teaches. It sucks, but it teaches. Suffering teaches. And I'm not giving credit to the people who make us suffer, because those people, I pray they find God. I really do. I pray that God gets closer. See, here's the thing. When somebody hurts me, I don't wish bad on you. I don't wish karma on you. I don't wish any of those things. Because I do know that karma is only bad if you slap her. Karma is not a bad thing. Karma is only a bad thing if you spit into the wind, if you slap karma in the face every time you see her. But if you hug karma, if you're good at karma, if you put good in the world, you don't have to worry about your karma. If you put bad into the world, then yeah, that could be the thing that you're like, your conscience is like, I think something's going to come around the corner at some point someday. But you got to be willing to change your life. You got to be willing to do better. Forgiveness, repentance, God has that, right? For you. I don't wish bad on people. I've run into people that are like, I wish that people get what they give. And the funny thing is a lot of those people that say that do bad things. And I'm like, you don't really want what you're saying, because if you want what you're saying, you're asking God to punish you. See, a lot of the times that people are like, man, I hope that when somebody does me dirty, they get it. But then a lot of those people do people dirty. So, I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? They're almost wishing bad karma on themselves because they're presenting bad karma, and then they're saying, well, everybody should get what they give. I don't wish bad. I want to be clear about this. I have never purposefully wished bad on anybody, and I don't. When I'm upset, I might say things. I might feel something in the moment, but God knows my heart, and God knows my mind, and God knows I don't want anybody to be in pain, because I wouldn't wish it. I don't even care. I don't care if you hurt me. I don't wish pain on anybody. I don't. I always hope that God gets closer to people, because when someone hurts you, when someone treats you poorly, in my life, there's always a lot of irony to it. Like, they'll call you up and they'll complain to you about what someone did to someone else and how they hate that person for that. And then 9 times out of 10, it feels like they mirror those things. People will tell you what they hate and then they'll do it. And I witnessed that recently. I had somebody tell me, I can't believe that this person did X, Y, and Z, and I hate them for this, and I don't know if I'll ever forgive them for this, and I can't believe they did all these things. And then they did almost the exact same thing to me. Like, almost the exact carbon copy same thing. And I'm like, so you hate that person for what they did to someone you love, but then you did it to me. And if you told that person that you love what you did to me, I hope they called you out. Not to make you feel bad, but to be like, how can you be critiquing the person in my life when you just did the same thing to somebody else? See, if we're not surrounded by people who are willing to tell us when we're wrong, we're not surrounded by the right people. I'm not surrounded by people that tell me what I want to hear. Ever. I was talking to my brother Jason this week, and I told him about something that had happened to me. And he didn't really say much. And I was like, why aren't you saying much? Or is it like, because, I've been through, he goes, bro, I've done seen it all. Like, I've seen it all. Like, I'm not saying much to you because I done been through it. I done seen it, And so for him, it was like, yeah, okay. People are out here hurting people. Not surprised. And he didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me the truth. Take a step back and then take a step forward. Take a step back, look at it, take a step forward and get away from it. Move on. Not even get away from it, just move forward. And, when I get on the phone with people that I love and I trust, they don't tell me what I want to hear. They tell me the truth. And if you're surrounded by people that when you hurt other people, they're like, oh, well, they're lost and da-da-da. And they're like always making, like when you're the perpetrator, they're making you the victim. Those are not the right people to be around, because they're going to perpetuate your narcissism. And there's a lot of narcissistic people in this world. It's uncanny how many narcissistic people there are in this world. People that will create their own problems, build their own battlefield, and then complain that they got shot. And shame on me for witnessing that and acting like it's any different than what I've seen for 20 years. There's a lot of people out there that just don't treat people the way they want to be treated, don't talk to people the way they want to be talked to. And, I think for the annoying moment of the week, a lot of that is in it, and there's a lot of context to what I'm saying. But I've learned in my life that, I have to be kind to myself. I have to be good to myself. And I have to say to myself, I would never do this. I would never do this. And I always tell people, because when you tell somebody something that hurts you, a narcissist will spin it around and make you feel bad about it. And that happened to me recently, where I'm saying, hey, I don't understand this. This hurts me. I don't know why it's happening. And it got flipped around, and it was like, well, the way that you're describing it and the way you're saying it is making me feel this way. So now I feel bad. So now essentially, like, you have to apologize to me. And now we've totally forgotten about what's going on with me. That's what a narcissist does. You'll tell them that you're hurt by something they said or did, and they will tell you that the way you said it to them hurt them. And it's like, wait, I'm just saying back what happened. Now, in these moments, when you feel something and something bothers you, you should always be able to address that. And if you're around people that care about you, they're going to care about that. But there's also the element of I would never do. And when I'm checking myself of, should this bother me? Should this not bother me? Like, am I blowing this out of proportion, or is this a real problem? I ask myself, would I do this to someone else? Would I say this to someone else? If the answer is no, then yeah, that's a real problem. Like, if I'm dating somebody, I'm not on my phone texting other people, talking to other people, reaching out to other people. I don't have those people on my phone. I don't give myself that opportunity. I'm not on dating apps. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Like, I'm not keeping a dating app on my phone when I'm someone's boyfriend, because that's counterproductive and it's ridiculous and it doesn't make any sense. And it's almost stating that I don't think this is going to work out, so I want to keep my roster ready. I don't have a roster. I didn't even know anything about that till I started listening to what other people were saying about what some disgusting people do in relationships, which is keep a backup plan and a backup to the 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 backup. I don't have those things. So I don't live that way. And if I wouldn't do it to you and I wouldn't say it to you, and you do it or say it to me, I have every right to come to you and say, I'm not going to speak to you like that. Like, if you swear at me, I'm not continuing the conversation. If you make me feel bad or want me to walk on eggshells when I tell you that there's something that bothers me, that's not right. I should be able to come to you and say, I don't like the way you spoke to me. And the fact that a grown adult can't hear themselves change the way they speak, that's just somebody pretending, in my opinion. Because there's a big difference from me coming on the air and saying, hey, everyone, how you doing today? And me going, yeah, what's up, everybody? How's life? Obviously, one sounds happy and one sounds mad. But they're both saying good morning. They're both saying hello. Well, if somebody talks to me the second way, I'll say, why you got an attitude? I don't have an attitude. You're just hearing it. No. And I'm a communicator. I communicate for a living. This is my job. My job is communication. So when I'm in a relationship, friendship, family, romance, and somebody tells me I can't communicate, my response is, I've communicated for over 22 years as a profession. I've used my voice to spread a message for over 2 decades. If I can reach somebody who doesn't know me, will never meet me, and is a total stranger, and they can understand what I'm saying on the show today, how can you not understand it sitting on a couch when you're supposed to know me far better than that person does? And it's in those moments that we have to check ourselves. It's in those moments, because when you're within something, like I've done that before, when I'm in a romantic relationship or I'm in a friendship and it's just you and that other person sitting on the couch, when they say something to you that sounds completely different than how anybody else has ever experienced you, you think, oh my gosh, well, if they think that way, then it's got to be true. And then you step back and then you talk to your friends and your family and total strangers and this and that, and everybody responds the same way. And they're like, I wouldn't want somebody talking to me like that. So, and again, I don't have any yes people in my life. I'll say to my dad, hey, I don't like that somebody said this. And my dad will turn around and sometimes he'll go, yeah, that's not really great. Or he'll go, Daniel, you're reading into it. Let it go. We don't always agree, but that's what I love about my inner circle, is that they're going to tell me the truth. They are going to tell me the cold, hard truth. They're not going to play to my ego. They're not going to try to boost me up. They're not going to tell me I'm right when I'm wrong. They're not going to sugarcoat, and they're not going to give me false hope. They are going to talk me through something. And I love that. I love that. Where I need to learn and what I need to address is, if I address a problem and that problem is not fixed, it's ignored, or it's turned around on me, then I have to address it again and then see what the answer is again. I do not stand for certain things. And one of the worst things that I think any human being can do to another human being is be silent. Because silence means I don't care at all. I've been in relationships that didn't end up working out, but if they were upset or I was upset, sometimes we had heated conversations, but at least they showed they cared. It was a heated conversation of, why can't you understand my side of the story? Because they wanted to be there. And being removed from something for so many years, I can look back on things and go, I think this person actually loved me. Because as much as it wasn't the right thing, look at how hard they fought. Ultimately at the end, it wasn't the place I wanted to be, but they fought for this. They conversed with these things. They worked through these things. They were open about this. And it's funny. I feel like the older I get, the less people I meet romantically that want to talk about a problem, work out a problem, admit that they're wrong. I always say the problem can't be bigger than the relationship. If the problem is bigger than the relationship, then you don't care about that person. Because if I care about you, the problems are minuscule compared to my care. But if you can leave at the drop of a dime for any problem, then you're going to leave everybody. You're going to run away from everybody. You probably don't have that many friends. You probably don't have that many people that you can go to, that you can trust. And the people that you can go to, I wonder how that relationship is. But how you treat people, it says everything about you. It says every single thing about you. Because, again, and I say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again in the show, leading with a pure heart and good intentions is something that you never have to apologize for. I'm going to trip up, right? But when I say I'm going to trip up, I might have a rough moment. I might question something. I might worry about something, which is something I'm really working on and addressing in my life. And it's far better than it used to be. But people don't know that when they just meet you, because they don't know what you were like before versus what you are now. I worried so much more then than I do now. But it still creeps up. And it still puts that bad pit in your stomach. I have to be able to divide what am I worrying about that doesn't exist, that's just a bad habit creeping up again, and what am I concerned about that is a real thing. Because sometimes you worry with no proof or evidence. Other times your stomach, your heart, your mind, whatever you want to call it, is telling you this is unsettling. This bothers me. Right? And if someone can go to sleep and you're the best thing since sliced bread, and they can wake up as if they didn't even know your name or your face, that is them, not you. I could never give someone my heart, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and that person's dead to me. And I mean, unless they did something that was horrific. But I can't fathom. This is the world we live in today. We live in a world where people hide. They ghost, they run. They're cowards. They don't address anything. They don't care for it. They don't stick around long enough for anything to matter. And how is that person ever going to be successful? How is that person ever going to have a truly valuable relationship? They might have bodies, but they're not going to have relationships. And when you put yourself out there in a friendship, in my case, in business, in my case, in being a public figure, which I was told I was a long time ago, and I'm like, no, I'm not. But I understand what they're saying now over the years of what that means, of being, doing what I do and doing it publicly. But being a public figure, in my case, strangers learning about me, learning about my life, learning about my thoughts and my opinions, my feelings, my values. I'm living a different life than a lot of people out there, than the majority of people out there, because I'm sharing my thoughts and my opinions this way. I mean, I'm doing it this way, right? As a broadcaster, I am putting myself out there as a public figure, as somebody who is, utilizing social media to spread what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and the different things that, the partnerships we have and whatnot. I'm putting myself in a place that is different. Well before influencers and social media and all this crap that's been coming out and how people do it. And I don't want to, I probably shouldn't call it crap, but we've diluted the pond, so to speak, because now everybody's an influencer, everybody's a broadcaster, everyone's this, everyone's got breaking news, everybody's copying and everybody's doing, and everybody's stealing. We've come to a place, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Like there's a bunch of people doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I shouldn't have said everybody. We're living in a place right now where so much is going on and you wonder how much of it is real. You wonder how much of it is real. I can't be anything other than real. I can't be. So, because if I'm hurting, I'm hurting. And if I'm happy in something, I'm happy in something. I can't pretend and just grin and bear it. So, for me, I can get through anything. I can overcome anything. But it's not that I don't feel it. And I think it's important to see where you go wrong in your life, address it, and be willing to change. A lot of people are not willing to change. And I got to break it to y'all. None of us are 100% right all the time. None of us are 100% right all the time. So if you think you are, you're severely mistaken. And something just came across my desk. When David faced Goliath, he didn't talk about how dangerous Goliath was. He talked about how great God is. Don't talk fear, talk faith. And I agree with that. And that's coming from somebody who has talked fear before. You got to talk faith. It's always got to be faith over fear. Because fear is the last line of defense that the devil has. The devil knows God is about to bless you. He's trying to scare you out of it. So if every time you worry and you're fearful and you think you don't deserve something and you think you're not good enough, think about that coming from the devil and not coming from God. And would you really want to take something coming from the devil? Because whatever the devil hands you is never going to be good. It's a scorpion, it's a snake, it's poison. Nothing from the devil is ever going to be a good thing. Even if it looks like a good thing, it's never going to be a good thing. And the funny thing about life today is people don't want to believe in God, but they believe in the devil. People that are anti-God, anti-religion, wear devil horns. So you know that the devil is part of religion. You know that the devil is part of the connection to God. You know that Lucifer was created by God and fell, decided to, and became what he became because he thought that he could overtake God, that he was more powerful. So this world deals with a lot of irony and ignorance and craziness and irrationale because a lot of the things that people refuse to believe in, they actually do believe in by what they're believing in. You can't believe in the devil, not believe in God. You can't believe in evil, not believe in good. And vice versa. You can't believe in God and not know that the devil exists. You can't believe in good and not know that evil exists. That's all there. Your decision is which way you're going to go. But my annoying moment of the week is you should never have to walk on eggshells and be in any type of a relationship where you cannot speak your mind, be honest, and be yourself. If you're sitting at lunch today and you cannot be yourself with someone in business, you cannot be yourself. And I'm not saying I'm not saying tell everybody everything. I'm not saying if you have a business meeting, well, I'm going through a breakup, so I want to tell everybody about it. Or I have to tell, is Dan telling me I have to tell everybody? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying your information is something that you can keep to yourself. You decide if your information goes out and who it goes to, or if it doesn't go out. What I'm saying is don't stop being you. Like, you are who you are. Don't shy away from that. I've said on this show probably 2 million times that I'm Italian and Hispanic, that I love my Spanish blood, I love my Italian blood. I've probably said that so many times, but that's because I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud of my family. I value my family. I value my heritage. I value the language. I value that bond. I seek it in things, and I appreciate it. I'm wearing my Avengers Infinity War hat. Superpowered Pop is my entertainment show. Wake Up Call is my sports show. Why am I wearing this? Because I'm the same guy on the entertainment show that I am on the sports show. I love the Avengers. I love Marvel. I'm a big kid. I love Infinity War. I love this hat, so I'm wearing it. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to. I didn't even have to tell you what I said just now of why I'm doing this and why I'm doing that. If you watch the show and you hate my voice, good for you. If you watch the show and you hate my hat and you don't like my shirt, good for you. If you think my shirt has a subliminal message, it doesn't. I mean, it's Italian American, but if you think that it has that it doesn't have, I mean, good for you. See, people's perceptions, this is the thing that I find very annoying. Let's make this part of the annoying moment of the week. When somebody perceives that you said or did something, or what you meant by something you did or said, and then you tell them what you actually meant, they'll stick with their perception. That to me is wild, because a lot of times people will not get an answer that they seek. Somebody will ask a question, they won't get an answer. That person will run, they'll be silent, they'll ignore you, or they'll beat around the bush. When somebody asks you a question and you give them an honest answer and they still are questioning it, that's something inside of them that's broken. It is. It's something inside of them that's broken. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with people where someone got mad at me because what they thought I meant by what I said or what I did. And then when I told them what I actually meant, they spent another hour, another day, 3 days, 3 weeks, whatever it may be, yelling at me about still what they thought I meant as opposed to what I meant. I'm the type of person that's not going to leave you on red. If I want to talk to you, I'm not going to ignore you unless you've done something really not great to me. I will address you when you address me. If you do not have access to me, that's because you lost it. It's because you lost it. So when I talk to somebody, if you ask me a question about what I meant by what I said or did, I'm going to tell you. And if you keep fighting with me about what you thought I meant, perception versus reality, I don't care about your perception. That means nothing to me, because reality is reality. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with somebody and they perceive something to be this, and they freaked out and went nuts, and all these bad things happen, and they're treating me poorly. If they had just come and talked to me, it's a 5-second conversation of me going, this is what I meant by what I said. I don't know why you thought that way, but this is the truth. Not everybody's going to do that. I've had people tell me before, well, like, men and women don't tell the truth, Dan. Like, when you address something, you ask somebody a question, they're not going to give you an answer. They're going to be vague. Not me. I will tell you what I'm thinking and feeling. I will. Because what do I have to lose? Right? I'll tell you what I'm thinking and feeling. If I value the relationship. If you're a stranger or I don't trust you, I'm not telling you anything. I'm having a very short conversation with you because I don't trust you with any information I give you. I don't even trust you with me saying hello to you and what you're going to turn that into, because there are people that will turn anything into anything. So, but if you ask me, I will tell you. We need to get off this perception versus reality. If you perceive something and you get mad about the perception and you have an argument in your head with yourself that doesn't involve that other person, and then when you get to that person, you're ready to leave them, ready to break up with them, ready to stop being friends with them, ready to stop working with them, ready to quit your job, ready to this, that, and you don't even have a conversation with the person, and you don't sit down with the person face to face, and you don't hear the truth and address everything, you are a coward, and you are looking for a reason to run. You're looking for you don't care if your perception is reality. You're trying to find something wrong. And I will tell you this, and I think my mom taught me this a long time ago. If you are looking for something wrong, you will find it every time. Because when nothing is wrong, you will create a problem. If you are looking for something to be wrong, you will find it. Not because it exists, but because you'll make it exist. You are what you focus on. If you focus on the good, more good comes. If you focus on the bad, more bad comes. Right? If you lean into the bad, you can't lean into the bad. So the best thing that I can learn calling myself out this morning is that when I see things I don't like, or I address things that are not addressed on the other side, or my reality is continued to be fought by their perception of reality and not the actual reality, if I can't be myself, I need not be there. Because I don't think that anybody should sit in a room where they're not welcome. And I don't do the ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. I know life has ups and downs, but I don't want somebody who's imbalanced. Okay? And I know everybody's got ADHD now and everybody's going through. Listen, some people have stuff going on. A lot of people crutch it. Right? Everybody's got an excuse. Oh, well, I have kids, so I'm da. Oh, I work a tough job, so da. Oh, well, I deal with this and that. No. Okay? How you treat people is how you treat people. No excuses. Okay? It may have been affected by something, but that is you allowing that thing to affect it. If you treat people poorly, after a while of you treating me poorly, I don't care how, I don't even want to say after a while. If you treat me poorly, I don't care why you're doing it. I care that you're doing it. We need to start addressing things that way. It's not why, it's that you are. Because if you tell me why you're treating me poorly, that doesn't change that you're treating me poorly. It doesn't take it away. It doesn't make my pain go away. It's not addressing anything. You're just giving yourself an excuse. I don't give myself excuses. Okay? I know where things come from. I know certain things that might be a domino effect. But I live a very simple life. If you do things that resemble cheating, I'm not going to want to be around you. If you are somebody who is imbalanced and up and down and you love me, hate me, love me, hate me, love me, hate me, love you, hate me, want to talk, don't talk, want to talk, don't talk, want to talk, don't talk. I can't do that. I am a consistent person. You don't have to go to sleep and wonder if I'm going to be there in the morning. Unless you treat me like garbage, then I won't be. But that's on you. It's not going to be on me. If I choose to be your friend and I want to be in your life, I am in your life and I am your friend unless you do or say something that I cannot get behind. Like I was friends with somebody and found out they were racist and they kept saying a certain word in front of me. I ended the friendship because I can't be around or attach myself to somebody that thinks about people that way. I pray for you, but I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be around people that do that to people. I can't be behind that because I wouldn't want my friends to hear somebody say something derogatory toward Italians or Spanish people and then stay friends with that person, not tell me and be okay with it. I don't want you to be okay with that. That's your choice. But they always say that the people that truly love and appreciate you and care about you are the ones that stick up for you in rooms you're not in. And I stick up for my people when I'm not in the room with them. I do. So I don't want to date somebody that's not going to stick up for me. I don't want to be friends with somebody that's not going to stick up for me. And I'm not saying when I'm wrong. I'm saying I'm going about my life. I'm not hurting anybody. Somebody's talking trash about me. Somebody's doing this. Somebody's painting this picture. If you're not willing to be by my side at all times, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, then don't be in my life. I'm not going to have a wife that's not my partner all the time. She might be annoyed. She might be frustrated. She might be upset. We may disagree on something. But she's got to love me more than her annoyance of me. She's got to appreciate me, value me, and care about me more than the moment. And I have to do the same thing for her. I don't think there's any parent on this planet whose kids haven't pissed them off at some point. But does the pissing off of you mean more to you than your love for that kid? If it does, then you're not really a parent. My parents and I have argued, but I've never thought that these people genuinely don't, like, when you take a step, I mean, in the moment you might be heated, but like, I know for a fact that my dad loves me. I know for a fact that my mom loves me. I've seen it in their forgiveness. I've seen it in their time. I've seen it in what they say to me. I've seen it in their softness with certain things with me. I've seen it with them being there when they're exhausted. I've seen it when they answer the phone when they're working, when they're busy, when they're doing something, when they're out somewhere, when they're on vacation. My parents, I see their love in so many things that they do, even when there's hard times. And you look back at, like, I look back on my life now and I say, I didn't have the easiest time every day with my mom. I didn't have the easiest time every day with my dad, but I can absolutely tell you that having them in my life, I am so grateful to be their son. And I'm so grateful that they are there for me, even when I repeat myself, even when I'm not getting the message, even when it seems like I'm not listening. I cannot thank my parents enough for answering the phone. My parents have treated me in a way that most people have never treated me, which is showing up when they're frustrated, they're annoyed, they're upset, they're tired, they're busy. They truly love me, and I truly love them. And shame on me for not looking for that in my partner. Because if I have to hide but one piece of myself, wrong person. Like, I've done impressions my whole life. I do them here on the show. And I see these people doing impressions online, and I'm like, man, I've been doing impressions since I was a little kid. Why am I not sharing mine? I'm seeing other people share theirs. I've done impressions my whole life. And people that I've recently dated have no interest in that part of my life. And I get a vibe from them that, like, they're turned off by it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to be around it. They don't like it. You know, they may not like me if I do it. You know, and that's a part of me. You know, it's a part of me. It's who I am. You know, if you don't like that I love God, it ain't going to work out. If you don't like that I'm a jokester and I love comedy, it's not going to work out. If you don't like affectionate people, it's not going to work out. If you don't like somebody who, and the funny thing is, and I totally forgot who this person was because I don't keep mindless information in my head, but I kept the experience of, you know, going through dating, and I was talking to this girl, real beginning of anything, and she was like, I don't really like sports, so do you think this isn't going to work out? Like, because I just want to tell you now, I'm not really into sports, so maybe, like, that's not going to be good enough for you, like, it's not going to work out with us. And I was like, what? Who cares? Like, who cares? Yeah, I mean, I would love it if you would sit and watch a game with me, but I'm so much more than sports. I mean, we spent the entire first hour of this show talking about everything under the sun. None of it was sports related. So, because my show is different. The annoying moment of the week allows me to go wherever I want to go. Lead allows me to go wherever I want to go. Top dog of the week allows me to go wherever I want to go. The tagline for Wake Up Call is where sports meets life. We're going to address the NFL draft, but on the way to it, we're addressing a lot of other life topics, life things that are going on, things I'm feeling, thinking, wondering about. And I just remember, like, having somebody say that to me. She's like, I'm not really into sports, so, like, do you want to just call it right now? And I'm like, I don't even know you. And that's the thing about life today. People don't want to give friends it, like, when someone's a stranger, they don't want to date you. They don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to give you an opportunity because unless you agree with everything that they think, and this is the funny thing, the people that want you to agree with every bit of who they are and be exactly like them, they change all the time. Have you noticed that? People that want you to be just like them change all the time. The ones that are like, you got to match every bit of my checklist. Those people change all the time. So you might match everything on Monday, and then you got to retake the test on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, and then on Saturday, and then on Sunday, and then on Tuesday again. No one is exactly alike, but the fact that we live in a checklist society now, the fact that we live in a, well, he got 9 out of 10, but he didn't get all 10 out of 10, so I can't date him. Well, she got 10 out of 15, but we can't be friends because we disagree. You think that my brothers and I agree on everything? Our core values are the same. What matters to us are the same. What do I have that bonds me to all my brothers? We all believe in God. We all love to laugh. We all care about family. We all have morals and values that are similar. We have similar interests. Those are the things that bond us. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same political beliefs. We all don't have the same opinions about everything. We don't watch the same movies. We don't date the same types of people. But we have core values. If I was looking for someone to match my checklist, I would have no friends. I wouldn't have my brothers. I wouldn't have my little sister. I would have detached from my parents because no one in my life is exactly like me, and I'm not exactly like them. We don't think the same on everything. We don't act the same on everything. But we're ourselves, and we have core commonalities that matter. And I'll tell you this right now, and I really, really believe this in my life. If you don't have God in your life, I will never be a good boyfriend to you because you're never going to understand me. I will never be a good fiance, and you're not going to want to stay married to me because God is at the center of my life. God is everything to me. Everything that flows from me and to me has to be God related. When it's not, it's a sin. When it's not, I don't feel good. When it's not, I can't function in it. Well, everything about me is God related. Everything I stand for. Everything I say and do has to pass through God. That's how I know it's a sin. Because if I do or say something and I'm like, that's got nothing to do with God, well, then don't do it. Don't say it. And that's my life. If you don't have God in your life, we're not going to work out. We're not. And I have found when I've dated women that don't have a close relationship with God, they're the ones that hurt me the most. They're the ones that hurt me the most because they're the ones that typically have no remorse. They don't apologize. And they say and do things I would never do or say. And it's a commonality. A lack of God, those people really, really hurt me. Really hurt me. So you got to be careful. And to bring it all back together for the annoying moment of the week, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm talking to you this morning from a place of personal experience. I have to learn and I have to remember the lesson because God will keep sending you the same type of people, making sure that you say no to those people when they're not good for you. Just because you got through one thing doesn't mean that God's not going to send you the same thing or a similar thing that is wrapped up looking like a different thing because you will be tested. We all pray for God to give us things, but we don't pray to God to make us ready. And when we say, God, get us ready, he's not going to snap his fingers and we're going to be ready. He's going to give us opportunities to learn. And in order for me to be ready for what I asked for in my life and what I've asked for in my whole life, I have to do the things, do the work, create the good habits, get myself out of certain things and into other things that are good and positive. If you know the problem, that's the first step. Then you have to figure it out. And if you don't know how to figure it out, well, you got to try and figure it out, right? You can't figure out a math problem by not putting it down on paper and working it out. And it may take you months to figure it out. It may take you 2 seconds. But you got to write it down. You got to look at it. You got to think about it. And that's why I think a lot of people say journal, write things down. Because when you write it, it gets out of your head. You get to see it. See, when I take something that's driving me insane and I write it down on paper, now I have to look at it. And I was thinking about it, talking about it, talking about it, thinking about it. I put it on paper. And then all of a sudden, I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to keep going over it. And then I took that piece of paper and threw it out. So for me, that works. If something's bothering me, writing it down and staring at it and going through it and treating it like a math problem and trying to work it out on paper, that allows me to see it. And when I see it, now I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that paper in my life. I don't want that paper in my notebook. I don't want that paper in my house. And if I don't want to look at those things, why would I want to be around the people that have created those things in my life? If you don't even want the piece of paper where you wrote down what happened to you, why would you want to be around those that did the things that you wrote down? That's reality for me. If I write it, I get it out, I look at it, and if I don't like it, then get rid of it. Get rid of it. Do not be afraid in your life to say no to things that are not healthy for you. It doesn't matter how much you love, it doesn't matter how much you care, it doesn't matter how hard you worked on it. Not everything is going to be for you. Not everyone is going to be for you. And it's never worth losing yourself, your sleep, your health over anything. If you woke up this morning missing somebody who chooses every day to not be in your life, why in the heck would you miss that person? Friend, family, romance, anything. Business. If you woke up this morning missing someone who doesn't care and chooses every day to not be in your life, it's like missing being burned. It's like missing freezing to death. It's like missing drowning. Stop putting yourself in situations where you get hurt. Just because you care doesn't mean they do. And that's something that I had to learn. Let's take a step aside. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week. We'll be back with Lead right after this. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company. With locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon to be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, We just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are open for sales and service Monday through Saturday and all the time online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Let's jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is the acronym, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, the first Chick-fil-A in Central New York, led by Jim Sikowski, a brother to me, and a fantastic owner-operator. Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. A fantastic 4 words within the word lead. Today's topic, check yourself. You gotta. Check yourself. Something that we ask other people to do. But how often do we do it for ourselves? How often do you check yourself? I want to know. Because that part of your life, that's a really important thing to do. To ask yourself, where am I at? What am I doing? Am I implementing the things I said I would implement? Or am I doing the things I said I was going to do? Did I get rid of the bad habits I said I was going to get rid of? Am I instilling the good habits that I said I was going to bring into my life? If you started walking and you walked for 30 days, why'd you stop? Are you going to pick it up again? Right? Because if you walk for 30 and you don't walk for 30 and now you didn't walk for 60, what are you doing? You're being counterproductive. You got to think about the things that matter to you. You got to think about the things that are healthy for you. Sometimes we stop doing those things. I remember I was walking every day, feeling good. Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy mind. Then I started dating a girl, stopped walking, and then she did a lot of things that were confusing me and stressful to me, and like every 5 seconds she wanted to break up, and maybe not, but maybe we should. And I stopped walking. Walking would have gave me perspective. Walking would have kept my mind healthy, kept my body healthy, kept my mind healthy. I stopped doing it at a time I needed it. I dated somebody else and she cheated. She's talking to other people. She's doing this, she's doing that. I wasn't walking. So it was like when I needed it the most, I wasn't doing it. When I was single, I was doing it. But it's funny how we'll do something in a certain part in our life, and then when we need it the most, we'll fight ourselves. So you have to check yourself, right? Why'd I stop eating healthy? Why'd I stop going to the gym? Why'd I stop praying? Why'd I stop laughing? Why'd I stop being around these people that always lift me up? Because I don't know if you're like me, but when something's going wrong in your life, you will distance yourself from all the things that can make you feel better. Because this one thing is not, you're not feeling good in this one thing, so you won't let anything else make you feel better. Which is crazy, because that's where you should go to the other stuff the most. Because those people aren't going to want to see you sad. My brothers are not going to want to see me sad. If I go out and have dinner with my brother Isaac, and I'm out here moping, he's going to say something to me. Be like, check yourself. He's going to do that. So he's going to make you check yourself. That is something to understand. Right? The people around you that love you and care about you, they're going to call you to check yourself. But you have to be the one that does it. Right? You have to be the one to say. If you say, like my mom tells me all the time, you give great advice on your show, but you got to take it. I love what you said today, but you got to take it. So that's, you got to take the advice. You got to be willing to check yourself. You have to. Because if you don't check yourself, if you don't put yourself in that situation where you tough love yourself, you're going to become somebody else's problem. I don't ever want to be around somebody that doesn't check themselves. Because if you don't check yourself, that means you're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt everybody around you. Because if you don't hold yourself accountable, now you put yourself in situations where other people are trying to hold you. I don't want to hold you accountable. I had somebody tell me before, you know when I got to go to bed. So if you know it's getting around that time and you're talking to me or you're hanging out with me, you have to stop the conversation, stop hanging out, and you have to tell me to go to bed. You're a grown-ass person. I'm not telling you when to go to bed. You can't look at the clock. I'm supposed to tell, I'm having a good time, I'm enjoying myself, and I'm supposed to act like there's a pumpkin outside, or there's a carriage outside that's about to turn into a pumpkin, so you got to go? Listen, I know that some people function in schedules. I know that. That some people have to have schedules or their life goes nuts, right? Normally, well, I feel like some people, like that's the thing that keeps them, like if they give up something in their life that's a bad habit, they turn the schedule into the habit that keeps them from getting it. Like everything has to happen within this box, or else I'm going to go back to my bad habits. I'm going to lose it. Like everything has to be set up a certain way in order for me to keep. And I know that people do different things for different coping mechanisms. Everybody copes differently with something, right? But I'm a firm believer that you cannot plan out your life and expect it to all go that way. And if I'm staying up late arguing with somebody, waste of time. If I'm staying up late worrying about something, waste of time. But if I'm staying up late laughing, there's times where I talk to my brothers and I'm on the phone like typically until we go to bed. I might call Jason at 9 o'clock, get off the phone at midnight. I might call Isaac at 10 o'clock at night, get off the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not because we're bugging each other, but because we're just talking. And, you know, if somebody has to go to bed, then one of us will say something. Hey, man, love you, appreciate you. I'm fading, got to go to sleep. A lot of times we talk until we're done, right? But that's something that people want me to make. Sometimes people want me to feel bad about that, right? Feel bad that you kept me up. Feel bad that I'm tired the next day. I'm going to die someday, right? You're going to die someday. I'm the type of, I don't know if you're like this, but I'm the type of person that I'm thinking to myself, why the heck would I want to end a night early or end a opportunity? Like if I'm having fun and I'm enjoying myself, why would I be like, gotta stay in the structure, gotta stay in the structure, gotta stay in the structure, gotta stay in the structure. If I'm enjoying my life, then you know what I mean? It's not like like I understand people need, but that's the thing. People, if I don't get this many sleep, then this is going to happen. If I don't do this, then this is going to happen. If I don't do this, it's like, wow, okay, drill sergeant. Like that's not how life works. That's not how life works. Like, yes, we all need to get sleep. If I don't get a lot of sleep, then I'm tired. Then I want to nap the next day. I get that. But let me tell you something. What love story doesn't have two people up at 2:00 in the morning laying looking up at the stars having a good old time? Right? Like there's certain things that they just happen, right? If I'm eating dinner and every night I got to be home by 8:00 because I got to take a shower by 8:30 because I got to be in bed by 9:00, what if I'm hanging out with Isaac? And my coping mechanism for life and destroying my bad habits was to structure myself to a point where if I am 1 minute off, I'm going to turn into a werewolf. You can't, like, that to me is not somebody that's truly worked out their problems. Because if you truly work out your problems, you're going to not go nuts if your schedule gets obstructed a little bit, because your schedule will get obstructed. God is not going to let any of us live a life where there is structure without there ever being something that moves. He's not going to do that because he wants to know how you function in chaos. He wants to know how you function when life is hard. He wants to know. Now, I'm not saying don't get sleep, and I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, but I'm saying if you want other people in your life, you cannot have everything your way. You have to check yourself. I tell people this all the time. If you want to live by your schedule, I don't say, this is what I think all the time. I probably should say it more. If you want to live by a schedule and a structure and you never want it to change and it's got to be the same every single day, and you want somebody to fit into that. If you have a schedule and you only seek to meet friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, neighbors, romantic relationships that fit within the confines of that schedule that you're unwilling to change, stay by yourself. Be alone. Because you're going to be a nuisance to everybody. Because we're making time for you. Here, what did they say? There are people that will make time for you in their busy schedule, and there will be people that will schedule you in the only time that like they have open. Like some people will open time for you, some people will give you time where it opens. I'm the type of person where I'm going to make time for you. I want to watch the entire NCAA tournament. But if I'm dating somebody and I have the opportunity to spend the day with her or watch basketball all day, I've watched basketball all day for many years. I've watched the NCAA tournament for over 2 decades. I've been watching the NCAA tournament since I was a kid. I'm going to spend the day with her. Now, some people might tell me I'm nuts. Why would you do that? Well, because I want to show her that I value her. I can watch these games at any time. I can record these games and watch them later. See, when it comes to watching TV or watching a movie, why am I going to choose that over spending quality time with somebody? Now, we might go watch the movie together. We might watch the TV show together. But if I know I have a finite amount of time with you, like if I'm only going to see you 1 day a week, why am I going to spend that 1 day doing something I can do without you? I want to hold your hand. I want to kiss you. I want to look into your eyes. I want to be all up in your business. I want to be like arms around you, your arms around me. I want to cuddle. I want to snuggle. I want to play games. I want to take a walk. I want to play with the dog. Like I want to do things that I can't do when I'm by myself. I can watch a TV show anytime I want. I can watch a TV show wherever, whenever, however, because that's streaming these days. But if I'm with you, I want to be with you. I want to spend quality time with you. I don't want to do something with you that I can do alone. Because especially when I have minimal time. You know what I mean? Like if I go down to Florida and I see my brother Jason and we sit and we watch TV all day, I'm not visiting with him. I can call him on FaceTime and watch a TV show with him. Why would I travel all the way down to Florida to watch TV with him? That's stupid. Now, part of our day might be that we're going to watch this, we're going to watch Monday Night Raw together, right? Because he's a wrestling fan and, so maybe we're going to do that at some point during the day, but that's not the whole day. That's not the whole experience, and I used to think that when I was around like certain friends, I'm like, why am I coming all the way over here? Like I got on a plane to see you and we're like not doing anything that is like you and I. It's like we could literally FaceTime and do this together. So why are we doing this right now with the very little time that we've allotted ourselves to have together? I'm a very purposeful person with my time. I'm intentional with my time. If you waste my time, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that with me. You don't get to waste. Like if I'm sitting on a couch and you're sitting next to me and you're on your phone and you're acting like you don't even know me, you're not touching me, you're not around me, you're not talking to me, you're just sitting there like you don't need me there, then I'll go home. I don't need to be there. Like I would rather be by myself than around somebody that's acting like I'm not there. There's no point in that. Like I tell people, I'll never date a roommate. And what I mean by that is I'm not dating somebody that's pretending like I'm not in the house and they're just doing their thing and I'm doing my thing. No, I've seen that in marriages. It sucks. I've seen that. One person's upstairs, the other person's downstairs. They're watching two different TV shows. After dinner, they don't talk until they go to bed. Absolutely not. That to me is a life sentence that I do not want to serve. And so we have to check ourselves. Ask yourself, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being who I said I was going to be? Am I holding myself accountable? Accountability, responsibility. These are words we have to teach people. If you are not accountable, if you avoid problems, you avoid relationships, you avoid connection, you avoid care, you run from real, genuine things, and you run away from real and genuine things, and you run toward fake and surface level things, there's something wrong there. There's nobody going toward fake surface level relationships that is leading a good life. They're not. And I guess I'm here to tough love you on that. You're not. Like, I was friends with somebody who was friends with everybody, but also nobody's friend. He was when you were right in front of his face, he loved you, he's there for you, you're his family, he's got you. But the moment that you went back to your house or you went out of the city or you went home, he don't know you for the next 8 months. And then when he sees you again, all of a sudden you're the best person in the world, you're great, you're amazing, you're awesome for like a day or two, but then he's on to the next person, then 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 on to... He was nobody's true friend. Or maybe he was one or two people's true friend, but he wasn't everybody's friend. But he wanted you to think he was. And that's not me. Like, if I'm spending time with you, I'm spending time not doing something else. So if you're a business and you're wasting my time, you're costing me time and money and energy. I don't want to be here, right? I told a business owner one time that came into an event and yelled in my face during the event, I think you've confused me with someone that needs to be here. I do not need to be here. There's no amount of money you can pay me to scream in my face. There is no human being that I'm going to listen to screaming in my face. I've lived through those moments. I can't believe I allowed those things to happen. It's never going to happen again. You scream in my face, you get out of my house. You scream in my face and I'm somewhere else, I leave that place. Not because I'm running away, but because absolutely not. People treat you the way they want to treat you, but what you allow is what they think is okay. If somebody cheats on you and you stay, they're not going to stop cheating. If somebody lies to you and you stay, they're not going to stop lying. If somebody yells at you and calls you names and you stay, they're not going to stop yelling at you and calling you names. Whatever you allow is what they will now do. I would rather be the first person to leave someone and have my morals and values than to become the 17th person that stayed. Sometimes you have to be the lesson. Sometimes you got to be the person that goes, you know what? You're not the only one that can go silent. You're not the only one that can walk away. You're not the only one that is done dealing with this garbage. Okay? Many play the victim. Some of them are holding the gun. We have to check ourselves. Are we the one holding the gun? Are we the one creating the problem? Are we the one that's causing the issue? Because when I'm wrong, I will tell you. I don't need you to tell me. I will tell you when I'm wrong. I will come to you. I will address it. But I cannot be wrong for everything that you went through before me. I cannot be responsible for triggering all of these landmines that I don't even know are planted here. And I think that's how a lot of people live their lives these days, is they have landmines and booby traps and bear traps all over the place. And you walk into their life knowing that none of those things are there. And then they blame you for stepping on them and blowing them up when you're the one whose arm got blown off. You're the one whose leg is caught in the trap. Why are they yelling at you? Because if their love is a battlefield, you're the one that's dying from it. Why are they blaming you? Okay? If someone's life is full of landmines, bombs, and booby traps, how is that your fault? And how is that your problem? You have to clean the field before you date somebody. You need to clean the field from whatever friendships you had that didn't go right. You need to clean the field from it. If I treated every business like, well, this business didn't pay me, this business said this to me, this business screwed me over. If I went into every business meeting like that, I would not be myself, I would not be positive, and I would not build a lot of relationships because my energy is going to be off. If I go into every romantic relationship going, well, I've dated girls that cheated, I dated girls that yelled, I've dated girls that called me names, I've dated girls that were hypocritical, then I'm never going to give that person a chance. If I go into a friendship saying, well, I got really close to these couple people and I thought they were my best friends and they screwed me over and they disrespected me and they were selfish toward me and I had to apologize when they did something wrong and I had to constantly forgive things that they would never forgive from me and I had to deal with all this stuff and they said things and they did things that I would never do, so you're going to do that to me so I can't be your friend. I'm never going to have any friends. There comes a point in your life where you have to check yourself. If you run from everything in your life, you will have nothing of value. You might have things that are stuck with you, right? If you run from everything in your life, but you have a dog or a cat, that cat is stuck with you. That dog is stuck with you. Yeah, they're going to love you because, you know what I mean? Where are they going to go? Your kid's going to love you. They might grow up to resent a lot of things. They may grow up to finally tell you how they feel. But things that you have to take care of, they're stuck there. Right? When I'm 5 years old, if my parents are being good parents, bad parents, somewhere in between, I'm 5 years old. Where am I going to go? My brain is not even thinking about those things. My brain is like, who's feeding me today? Like, are we playing a game today? That's where my brain is. You have to check yourself. Just because you have animals in your life, just because you have people in your life, doesn't mean you're doing the right thing, doesn't mean you're doing a good thing, it doesn't mean you're being productive or positive or kind or courteous or caring. Sometimes things are in your life because there's nowhere else for them to go. You're their caregiver. You're the one that takes care of them. Right? When I was taking care of my grandmother, I could have done a good job, I could have done a bad job. But she needed someone to take care of her. And if I was the only person to do it and I did a bad job, just because I'm there doesn't mean that I'm doing the right thing. It means I'm there. I could be there and not pay attention, or I could be there and love her up. So, we got to think about those things. You got to think about those things in life. You have to be willing to check yourself. I check myself all the time. I know when I'm wrong. I don't sit here and say, I've been right my whole life. I did everything right. No. There's times where I'm sitting here going like, man, why did you do that? Why did you say that? You didn't need to say that or do that. Or you know better than that. Or you haven't done that in years. Why did you go back to that place? Or that habit was gone. You thought, why did it come back? You have to be willing to check yourself. You have to be willing at some point in your life to hold yourself accountable for the things you're saying and doing and the habits that you have, or you're always going to repeat the same pattern. There are people that cannot understand why they keep going through the same thing with different people at different times in their lives. That is because they've not learned the lesson. They've not changed the things that they need to change. They're not accountable. They're not responsible. They haven't checked themselves. Okay? If you keep going through the same thing over and over again in different places with different people at different times in your life, you are not learning anything. That's a real thing that I've had to learn, that I'm learning right now. If you constantly are dating selfish people, you have to look at what you're doing. When you see this behavior, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to do this? I'm not a selfish person. So when somebody tells me their wants and their needs, that's all well and good. But if I can't tell you mine, there's a problem. If somebody says, I want this, 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 and this, and I say, I want that too, and they yell at you, they freak out, or they don't understand what you're saying, that's a narcissist. If somebody asks you for something and you ask for the same thing in return and they flip out, that is a massive red flag. No one should ever ask you for something and then go nuts when you ask for the same thing. That is a red flag. So you have to be willing to check yourself. And you also have to think about, what am I looking for? What am I asking for? What am I demanding? What do I want? Because if I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm talking for 45 of the 47 minutes, am I being fair to my mom? No. Am I listening to my mom? No. Am I giving her an opportunity to share her story, her life, what's going on with her? No. So I have to check myself and I have to go, you know what? You got a lot of things on your mind. You got a lot of things that you care about, but you're not having an equal conversation. If you talk for 45 of the 47 minutes, it doesn't matter who's on the other end of the phone. So your mom doesn't feel special because it could have been your mom, it could have been your dad, it could have been your brother, it could have been your sister, it could have been a friend, could have been a stranger. Because if you're talking almost the entire time, you're not valuing the relationship on the other end of the phone because it's inconsequential who that person is, because that person has not been allowed to be a part of the conversation. Most people that don't shut up in a conversation could not stand sitting at a table and not being able to speak. It is amazing things that people are willing to say and do when they would never want those things said or done to them. You have to check yourself. Selfish people can't stand selfish people. Narcissistic people cannot stand even hearing the word narcissism. Double standard people do not ever want to hear you talk about hypocrisy. You have to be willing to check yourself. It's amazing how people seem to dislike the things that they see in other people without admitting that they're doing it themselves. They will see it in you, but they will not see it in themselves. You have to check yourself. You have to. Because if you don't check yourself, you will have very surface level, very meaningless relationships. You will never have many things of substance, and you're never going to think you're the problem, but you're always going to end up alone. The cold hard truth sometimes is that you were wrong, you did not do that right, or you did not respond the right. Sometimes you're not the person that was wrong, but you should have responded a different way. You should have responded quicker. You should have stuck up for yourself. You should have left. My dad told me that yesterday. He goes, you got to start listening to what people say and watching what people do and be willing to leave when it's not what you want. You have to be willing to go, no, this ain't for me. So my dad was telling me, you're not the one that said the thing wrong. You're not the one that did the thing wrong, but you were wrong for not acting after that. You did not provide a consequence to bad behavior. So you weren't wrong for the bad behavior. You didn't create the bad behavior, but you are wrong for allowing it and not responding to it. You are wrong for not addressing the bad behavior. You are wrong for not going away from it. See, sometimes when we check ourselves, it's not that we were the root of the problem, but we were we allowed the branches to grow. We may not be the rose bush, but we're allowing the thorns to cover us, surround us. We have to be willing to learn. You may not be the problem, but you keep allowing the same thing in your life, which is a problem. You may not be the one doing or saying, but you're the one allowing. And that's still a problem. We have to be willing to step away from things that look pretty, sound nice, look handsome, look great, look kind. The devil is not coming to you in red with horns, looking all scaly and bony and gross. He is coming to you looking like everything you ever wanted or dreamed of. You have to look beyond the facade to see the real thing. We all think the devil's going to come up to us with a creepy voice, hunched over with a cane, saying weird things to us with red eyes, and his body's going to be on fire. That is not how the devil will come to you. The devil will come to you as a sweet, soft, caring, singing, beautiful, humble, wonderful, tasteful voice. And you have to differentiate what is real and what is not. Perception versus reality, like we talked about in the annoying moment of the week. The devil is not going to the devil does not suit himself coming dressed as the devil. The devil suits himself coming dressed as an angel, as God, as a good Samaritan, as somebody who is going to help you. If I look back on my life and I look at all the people that attacked me and hurt me and did things to me and said things to me that I would never do or say, none of those people came into my life looking like a bad thing. They all came in smiling, beautiful, kind, sweet, eyes are dancing, sparkling. They're ready to have a great time. Because people say, why would you put up with this? Well, that's not what I got in the beginning. People will come into your life all dressed up like a nicely wrapped gift. It doesn't mean when you open it that it's something that you want or need. I'm going to say that again. Everyone will come into your life as a nicely wrapped gift. Just because it looks nice doesn't mean that when you open it, it's going to be something you want or need. You have to be willing to open the gift and say, no, thank you. Take the gift, put it in the trash. I'm not doing it. And stop wasting your life on people that are not even thinking about or caring about you. Check yourself. Look at your behavior. Look at what's bothering you. Look at what's going on. You have to fight through it. Because one day you're going to be 30 and then you're going to blink and be 40 and you're going to say, man, I spent a lot of time in my 30s worrying about all this crap that doesn't even matter to me now. And I'll tell you this with certainty in my life. The people, places, and things that hurt you today that you think that you're allowing to take up your whole day, all your energy and everything about you that you don't even want to get out of bed, those things will not matter in 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 weeks, whatever, a year. They're not going to matter to you. The thing I was worried about last year at this time was such a pointless thing to worry about. I don't even know why I entertained a minute of it. Why I made a phone call, why I held on, why I allowed myself to be in paradise while still putting myself through hell. I would go back in time, grab myself and go, hey, listen, I know what you want. I know what you're trying to do, but stop. Okay? A lot of us suffer with the job didn't want us. This person didn't want us. This person doesn't want to be our friend. This person doesn't want to date us. We want to know why that specific, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. Okay? The NFL draft is going on right now. If you get picked by a team and 31 other teams passed on you, are you going to go to the NFL thinking about the 31 teams that didn't pick you? And then when you play those teams, go up to the general manager and go, why didn't you draft me? Why didn't you draft me? Why didn't you? Play for the team that chose you. Play for the opportunity that you have. Appreciate the blessing that you got. You got an opportunity when other people didn't. So take the opportunity and run with it. I'm a Jaguars fan. If I was playing football and the Broncos drafted me, I'm going to be the best player I can possibly be for the Broncos. Not to piss off the Jaguars, but because I love football and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play the game and I'm going to do the best I can because I want to win a championship. It doesn't matter what colors I wear. It doesn't matter what logo's on my helmet. I believe in the same God. I'm the same person. So let's go. We have to stop being upset when we're not chosen. We have to stop being upset when we're not chosen. Because the reality in life is every single one of us will not be chosen by somebody. Jesus was walked to his death. Many did not choose him. They chose a murderer above perfection. That's why quantity doesn't mean anything and quality does. Quantity was many people versus Jesus, versus the people that love Jesus, versus, and not all his disciples were by his side. Not all his friends were by his side. Jesus walked his path of perfection alone in a lot of ways. The masses said, kill him. A few people were like, please don't. So if Jesus didn't have the numbers, if Jesus didn't have the followers, if Jesus didn't have the retweets and the viral videos and all that stuff, then why are you worried if you only got a few people in your corner? I would rather have a few people in my corner that love me and got my back and are there for me in rooms that I'm not in than have 500 people and 499 of them would crap on me the first chance they got if it's going to help them get somewhere. Watch the people in your life, watch how they move, and be willing to check yourself and hold yourself accountable, not just for your words and actions, but for what you allow to be in your presence. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios with the top dog of the week right after this.
Hi, this is Chris Rauda.
And Colleen Rakowski from Gray's Craze of Clay.
It's a fun, innovative, upscale catering solution. We've turned eating into a whole new experience. Each of our boards is packed with delicious mix of artisan cheeses. We use premium cured meats, fresh fruits, nuts, and all of the sweet touches that really bring out the best in every perfect bite.
We offer something as small as a grab and go that feeds one, maybe two people, to our large board that can serve anywhere up to 25, 28 people. So we have the ability to really meet and hopefully exceed all of our customers' expectations when it comes to the different varieties of things that we have.
Charcuterie boards or boxes are healthy, fresh, delicious. They're made to order. We're baking the breads here daily. We're baking the cookies here daily. All of our dips are homemade, made in-house. All of our spreads are all made in-house.
When you open that board or box that we have delivered or you have picked up, we want you to know that it was made with care and designed to completely elevate your event, celebration, or meeting.
We've catered parties and events for up to 300 people. So if you're walking in to grab something for lunch or something for date night or movie night, that's great too. Our events go from you eating in the car on the way home to a catering event in a rehearsal dinner or cocktail hour or party.
When we do, again, know what the event is, specifically for a wedding, we like to schedule tastings so the bride and groom can come in and see what we have to offer, and we can then, as we talk, to try to understand what they're looking for, what the venue's like. We do like to have that one-on-one interaction when it comes to catering bigger events.
Our address is 4599 State Route 31, Suite 5, in Clay, New York. We're on the corner of Route 31 and Henry Clay at Clay Marketplace.
You can order on the phone by calling area code 315-409-4171 or online at grayscraze.com/clay-ny. Come visit us at Gray's Craze of Clay, New York,
where we want you to celebrate everything.
Hey everybody, this is Rockney Roberts from Willow Rock Brewing Company. We are here in Cicero at the Willow Rock Pizza Pub.
And I'm Kevin Williams, also from Willow Rock Brewing Company. Happy to be here and happy to be partnering with CNS and Dan Tortora.
You want some place where you can feel comfortable and hopefully ingratiate yourself with the community. And Kevin, he grew up right down the road from here. I grew up in Brewerton, so not too far away. We know the area, we know the people, they're great, and we were just really excited to be able to come to the area.
Yeah, and having the opportunity to meet some of these coaches, some of the people in general already, and seeing the CNS colors kind of around, and already partnering on a smaller level with individual teams really made this make sense to us to really formalize kind of a partnership with the school and get this rolling.
You know, Willow Rock to me has always been about high quality beverages, high quality experiences, and now high quality food in our pizza pub. You know, that was something new for us when we came to Cicero. Right from the drop, we knew we were going to have a focus on the highest quality food to go with our high quality beer. At the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, you're getting high quality, hand cut, top notch ingredients. We're open for lunch. That's a really important thing for us, is to be able to get that person in here like, hey, you only got 30 minutes for lunch, but we're gonna have something for you that you can get quickly and available to everybody.
Yeah, we wanted something that was just a little bit outside the box, a little bit outside of comfort zone, but still something that you could rely on to be consistent and easy to look at and easy to be like, oh, I can see myself eating this. I can see myself wanting to have that more than once. Eating a whole pizza like our beef on weck pizza, I've never seen one anywhere. It's just a great ideas, great inspiration across the board. We're their spot to stop. We're their friendly neighborhood watering hole, as well as pizza place and place to stop for a restaurant. Not just beer drinkers here. We've got wines, we got cocktails, we got non-alcoholic stuff for the kids.
The location is more important today than it ever has been before, and we're lucky enough to be here in Cicero. The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is a place where you can bring your family. You can come in, you can grab a soda, you can relax. You can come after a game, before a game, your parents, your grandparents. Our goal is to make sure that everyone's comfortable here. We want students, we want athletes, we want your coaches. It's going to be a good time. So come here, enjoy the high quality food, high quality beverage that we're going to offer to everybody. And hey, go North Stars.
We're so happy to have the North Stars. We are very much a kid-friendly establishment. We have tons of space outside for everybody to be playing outside, as well as listening to live music, enjoying some pizza.
The Willow Rock Pizza Pub is open 6 days a week here in Cicero. That is Tuesday through Sunday. And our website is willowrockbrew.com, and our socials are at Willow Rock Brew. So find us on the net, find us in person. We'll see you soon.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We're hanging out where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to jump into the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, the place to bring your dog for daily care. If you got to drop off your dog for a few hours, whatever's going on, you know, based on your work schedule, maybe you're renovating something in the house, you're having some furniture moved, you're doing something travel-wise, and you got to be in Rochester for the day, so you don't want the dog sitting at home all by themselves. The best place for you to go for dog daycare is K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare in East Syracuse, 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, right by BJ's Wholesale Club. You can see it from the highway, and it's just a couple seconds, couple lights from Erie Boulevard as well. You can call 315-437-7110 for more information. That's 315-437-7110. You can also get more information by going to K-9kamp.com. That's K-9 kamp.com. My top dog of the week for this week, man, it's got to be everybody that's in the draft. You know, everyone whose name's out there that's chasing their dreams and aspirations. I'm proud of you all. I'm proud of the work that you do, whether I know you or I don't know you. I mean, I got to shout out Dan Villari, Enrique Cruz Jr., Mike Washington Jr., Damon Barnes, as well as Trayvon Saunders. Got to shout out Devin Grant, Deuce Chestnut, Anwar Sparrow Jr., Justice Ross Simmons, David Reese, and Austin Collins. The list goes on and on. Jack Stonehouse. The list goes on and on. I am so proud of the people that I know. I'm happy for you. I hope you get your name called. I'm going to be paying close attention. I am one of those people that watches throughout the entire draft. So I'm hoping to hear your name called. I'm hoping that you get an opportunity. If your name does not get called, then I hope you get the phone call right after the draft to go into camp, to get signed and be a part of rookie mini camp. You're all my top dogs because I value you. I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. and you're chasing a dream. You're working hard and you're chasing a dream. And those of you that are out there working hard, chasing your dreams, Kevin Jobity Jr., everybody that's out there working hard, Deion Wilson Jr., Tank, everybody that's out there chasing their dreams and working toward their dreams, I can't say anything but good things towards you, toward all of you. I hope the best for you. I want the best for you. I pray the best for you. May God shine a light down the path that is the best one for you to take. May you trust his guidance, and may you trust everything he guards you from, and just be the best you can be. Will Nixon, a running back, means a lot to me. Will and I have a great relationship, so I just want to shout you all out. I send you all my love, whether I know you or I don't. My prayer is that your dreams are answered. You get an opportunity, you get your name called in the NFL draft, and or you get a call after the draft to go to an NFL team. I pray and I hope the best for you. God bless you all. Have fun, enjoy life, do the best you possibly can, and know that the Lord is looking out for you. And I send you my love, my well wishes, my prayers, and I want to see everybody win. So you're all my top dogs. Before your name gets called, before anything happens, you're already my top dogs because you're chasing your dreams, you're working hard toward them, you're putting yourself out there. So I got nothing but love for that. For people that go out and chase their dreams and do the best they can and work as hard as they can, I cannot say enough about the real ones. So shout out to everybody out there doing it, everybody out there chasing. If you feel like nobody's watching, nobody's listening, nobody cares, God does, I do, and I'm hoping the absolute best for you. So God bless you all, my top dogs of the week. Proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, I want to thank you for being a part of the show today inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. And it's now time for me to bring you my draft analysis for round one of the 2026 NFL Draft. So let's bring up the big board. And once again, I thank you all for being with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call, and it's time to look at round one of the draft. Like I said, this is a continuation of the conversation that we had at Pizza Man Pub on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. We were there on site, on location at Pizza Man, bringing you our mock draft, giving you our picks. And when I say we, I'm talking about the wonderful team that I had the opportunity to work with in Jeff Cookie Cook and Al Romano. They're on stage at Pizza Man, giving you our mock draft, every single one of us picking 1 through 32, telling you who we prognosticated to go to and to go, where they were going, who was getting picked, and what positions we thought teams needed to address and go after. Every single one of those things happened. Cookie gave 1 through 32, Al gave his, and I gave mine. We all had our mock draft for the entire first round, and coming off of that special at Pizza Man where we addressed that and in-draft analysis, it's now time for me to assess the draft as a continuation of that conversation. So round one, the big board is up here. The first pick, Fernando Mendoza. This is something I've been thinking about for months. Again, Sandra Douglas Morgan, the president of the Las Vegas Raiders. She was, and that's a shout out to the Boom. She was on site for the handoff ceremony, January 20th. I'm at the College Football Playoff, by the grace of God, and thank you to the College Football Playoff for allowing me the opportunity in the bowl system for me being there. I'm there for the handoff ceremony in Miami. So whatever city has it, hands it off to the city who's getting it for the upcoming season. Miami handed it off to Vegas. Before that happened, we had the morning after conversation with the national champions, which obviously featured Indiana. So Fernando Mendoza, quarterback of the Indiana Hoosiers, he was there on site on location after winning the championship with his teammates. And right after he was on stage, Sandra Douglas Morgan was on stage. And I said to myself, and I said to you, that there's no way, in my opinion, that they didn't cross paths in the hallway and didn't have, and this is in my opinion, this is not something that somebody told me, this is just in my opinion being playful, but then also saying, you know, why would this not have happened? That Sandra Douglas Morgan of the Raiders knows they have the number one pick and it's January. They know they got the number 1 pick in April. There's no world that I'm living in where Sandra Douglas Morgan doesn't look at Fernando Mendoza in the hallway in passing and says to him, hey, good game. I'll see you in a few months. Because the Raiders had the number 1 pick. And Fernando Mendoza is in the same building, in the same place as the president of the Raiders. So to me, I'm like, there's no way that there wasn't something there, even a playful back and forth. In my opinion, again, I'm not saying that I heard this. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it made perfect sense. So Fernando Mendoza, I thought he was going 1. He did to the Raiders. Second pick, I had Arvell Reese, and I changed it before the draft to David Bailey. Based on things that I was seeing and whatnot, I put David Bailey there. I thought they would get an edge rusher, either Reese or Bailey. I chose Bailey, and the Jets went with him. The third pick is interesting because I thought the Cardinals were going to go with Bailey or Reese, or could go Jeremiah Love. I ultimately said Arvell Reese, and they went with Jeremiah Love. So I did not get this pick correct. But Jeremiah Love, am I surprised he's going there? No. The Arizona Cardinals perennially for the last few seasons have been dealing with injuries to their backfield. And those injuries that they've dealt with in their backfield have caused them to not have 3 or 4 of their running backs at times. There was times where I looked at the depth chart going in and giving fantasy football advice and saying, I don't even know who's going to be the running back for the Arizona Cardinals because pretty much everybody on the depth chart is out. So they do need a running back, but they also need somebody to block for that running back, and they need someone to play defense. So I didn't think that this was a need as much as the need was for offensive and defensive line, but they get Jeremiah Love. A couple of years ago, they get Marvin Harrison Jr. You got 2 talented guys that are coming from great institutions, Jeremiah coming from Notre Dame, and you have Marvin Harrison Jr. coming from Ohio State. But again, they need somebody to throw to them. They need somebody to hand them the ball, and they need somebody to block for them more than anything. So a little bit of a head scratcher here, but I thought he would go within the top 4 picks. And then the Titans, I told people this, and I said this last night at Pizza Man. The Titans are notorious for not being able to help themselves. When they are drafting in the top 10, they draft a wide receiver. More often than not, they cannot help themselves. They just cannot help themselves. And I thought that this was way too early for Carnell Tate, that the Tennessee Titans would take him. I thought they were going to get Jeremiah Love, but when Jeremiah Love went to Arizona, maybe this is where they were like, uh-oh, we got to get an offensive player. We can't get that running back. We're not going to go get the second, third best running back. We're not going to draft this high, so let's go get a wide receiver. They go and get Carnell Tate. A little bit of a head scratcher that he went to the Titans, who needed to address some other things and maybe could have went defense here. But if you know the Tennessee Titans MO, you know that their ownership is obsessed with drafting wide receivers early in the first round. So this should not say, as much as it was a surprising pick, it's not as surprising when you think about it coming from Tennessee, which left the Giants with the fact that they did not have Jeremiah Love available, who I think they probably wanted. But then Arvell Reese fell to them. How can you not take Arvell Reese? There was a Giants fan that was at Pizza Man last night talking to us about it. He's like, I don't know how I should feel. And Cookie and I both said the same thing. You should feel great. You should feel absolutely great that somehow, some way, this guy fell to you. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? So Arvell Reese and David Bailey both are going to be playing at the same stadium. Jets and Giants both play at MetLife. So I thought the Giants had a shot of getting one of these guys. I thought the Jets were going to take one of these guys. The fact that they're both going to be in East Rutherford, New Jersey, you should be happy if you're living in the New York, New Jersey area to go and see either one of these players play, because I think both of these guys could end up being all pros. So I'm good with that. The first trade that we saw was a trade that took Cleveland out of the 6th pick and put Kansas City, went up from 9 to 6. Cleveland made out like a friggin' bandit in this one, and I'm going to tell you why. The Cleveland Browns and the Chiefs made this trade, right? So the Browns and Chiefs make this trade, and the trade that they make ends up working out, in my opinion, to benefit the Browns in a huge way, okay? The trade that the Browns made to go down 3 picks, this is how crazy this is. So they get the 9th pick by trading the 6th pick to the Chiefs. They also get the 74th pick in the 3rd round and the 148th pick in the 5th round. So they gain 2 more picks to drop down 3 spots, and they still get the guy that I predicted that they were going to get, with the Browns at 9th taking Spencer Fano, the first offensive tackle off the board in the draft. So I thought that this worked out swimmingly for the Browns. I'm a little bit head-scratching here that Mansour Delaney, who I thought was going to go at some point in the first round and some point within this top 15-ish, the fact that the Chiefs traded up 3 picks and gave up not only the 9th pick to get up to the 6th, but gave up 2 more picks in this year's draft. You gave the Browns draft capital, including another pick on day 2 in round 3 to get Mansour Delaney. I thought when they moved up here, this was them going for a wide receiver. They already brought in Kenneth Walker III. I thought this was a move to get a wide receiver. For them to trade up to get Delaney, I don't know who they were worried about that they thought was going to take him, but the Browns might have called their bluff here, and this might have been draft day Kevin Costner happening in real time instead of on a movie screen, where the Browns got somebody to bite and ended up getting a bunch of draft capital, still got the guy they wanted, Spencer Fano, no matter what. Shout out to Vontae Mack, no matter what. They still get the guy that they wanted and get 2 more picks by letting the Chiefs go up and get a cornerback that I thought was interesting, because I thought the Chiefs trading up, they were going after a wide receiver, but they did not. Sonny Styles going to Washington. Again, this is a guy I didn't think was going to be available here. I thought he was going to go in the top 5, potentially the top 6, but top 5. I thought that if Arvell Reese was gone, the Giants were going to take Sonny Styles. And the fan that I was talking to of the Giants wanted Sonny Styles more than Arvell Reese. So Styles falling to Washington, maybe you look at best player available, and I didn't think Washington necessarily needed a wide receiver, so I can understand the move they made. The Saints, I thought, were going to take Carnell Tate at 8, but they did take a wide receiver. Jordan Tyson was what they consider the next best available guy. So this pick, I thought the Saints might have traded up, might have said, hey, we want to go get a wide receiver. Let's make sure we don't lose out on anybody. Maybe they tried to, but ultimately they got the position. And with Carnell Tate being gone because Tennessee can't help themselves, the Saints got the position I thought they were going to get, which is they went after Jordan Tyson. We already talked about pick 9. Pick 10, Francis C.C. Mauigoa. I had C.C., who's been on the show multiple times. I had him going in the first round as one of 3 Miami players going in the first round, all in the trenches. Akeem Mesidor, edge rusher. Reuben Bain Jr., edge rusher. And Francis C.C. Mauigoa, offensive tackle. The Giants going offensive and defensive line, I called this. I said the Giants in the first round have 2 picks in the top 10, and they need to assess their offensive and defensive line. That's how you build championships. That's how you win championships. They have to go O-line, D-line. Now, I had them going Sonny Styles at the 5th pick because I thought Arvell Reese was going to be gone already. So that wasn't necessarily, obviously, the D-line, but it was addressing the defense with potentially the best player available if Reese was gone. Reese was not gone, so they ended up going O-line, D-line. My cousin Derek, big fan of the Giants, he asked me what I thought. I said, the Giants listen to me. And he thought, obviously we had a nice laugh about that because I didn't talk to the Giants last night, but they did go O-line, D-line. So Mauigoa going to the Giants, not surprised here. I kind of wanted him to fall to Miami, who was going to be the next pick. And so the only reason why in my mock draft I didn't put him going to the Giants is because I wanted to see him go not 10, but 11 to stay in Miami. So I can understand the pick by the Giants, and I can admit the fact that I was kind of hoping that Miami would stay in Miami. Now, the Cowboys traded with the Dolphins, the 12th pick for the 11th pick to move up. The Cowboys getting Caleb Downs, I'm not surprised here at all. Okay, I thought Caleb Downs was going to go high. This is the most excited I've been for the Cowboys to draft a safety since they brought in Roy Williams back in the day. I think this is a great move by the Cowboys, and this could end up being a huge element. Caleb Downs could be a huge piece of their defense that provides for a nice, good, positive new era for the Dallas Cowboys. So that leads us to the 12th pick with Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, going. Again, with Mauigoa being off the list, and you can't keep a Miami guy in Miami, they go Caden Proctor. That's not surprising to me that Miami went offensive tackle because I thought they would. The big surprise here is Ty Simpson going to the Rams. Confusing. You make him a top 15 pick, 13 overall. Good for him, first and foremost. Make your money first and foremost. God bless him, first and foremost. I do not agree with this pick. This was the most surprising pick of the first round, arguably, and probably to most people. Ty Simpson, who was one of the 16 players that was on site in Pittsburgh for the draft, I did not think that he was going to go. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, besides Fernando Mendoza, is there any other first round caliber guy that I'm going to, like, is there any other quarterback in the 2026 NFL draft that I think is first round worthy of me drafting them that high? Or do I wait until the second or third round or the fourth round, like day 3? Ty Simpson to me was not a first round pick. But I thought that Pittsburgh might take a flyer on him because of the Aaron Rodgers saga. The Rams taking him with Matt Stafford still being there, and in my opinion, the Rams being one of 2 teams that has the best chance of winning the Super. In my opinion, the 2 team, and I said this right after the Seahawks won the NFL championship, I said going into 26-27, the 2 best teams in the NFL to win a title are the Seahawks and the Rams. Same division, same conference, both from the NFC, both from the NFC West. I didn't have an AFC team in the top 2. I said, in my opinion, the best teams, the teams that I would say, if you're going to put your money somewhere going into the season, the Seahawks and the Rams. Healthy, Seahawks and the Rams. And then what did Vegas do? Vegas put the Seahawks 1, Rams 2. Vegas agreed with me. The fact that the Rams have the talent that they have, there was wide receivers available and other things to assess on the offensive and defensive line, and you could go Reuben Bain Jr. here. The fact that they went Ty Simpson, I'm like, who called who? And, like, is somebody getting kickback money from this? Is Alabama getting some help for, like, what is going on here that Ty Simpson goes 13 to the Rams? Most surprising pick of the first round by far. We're going to continue with the 14th pick right after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studio. Stay with us.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily? In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, assessing the draft here, taking a look and analyzing round one of the 2026 NFL Draft. We brought you our mock draft predictions from Pizza Man Pub last night on site on location on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York, and we also gave you our in-draft analysis of the first few picks that came in. And today we are taking a look at the rest of the draft to assess it all here, as I'm not going to leave you hanging. So we started by assessing the first few picks, and now here I am to give you the rest of round one and my thoughts on it compared to where I thought teams would go, who I thought they would pick, what position, those things that surprised me. And like I said, the Rams was the biggest surprise of the first round, the fact that they drafted Ty Simpson as high as they did. And I mean, I guess they're building toward the future already, I guess. With a former Georgia quarterback, Stetson Bennett, and now Alabama quarterback, Ty Simpson. I mean, I hope the best, but Matt Stafford's still the guy, right? And the Rams, if not for the Seahawks, could have been the potential NFL champion this year, right? So I feel like there's other areas they could have gone instead of going to quarterback, but okay. We'll see what happens. Now, the 14th pick to the Ravens, Vega Ione, offensive tackle. This was one that I predicted, so not surprised here. Get some protection for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the crew. That makes sense. The 15th pick, I said that there would be an edge rusher going to the Bucs from the Miami Hurricanes. I just had a different one. So Ruben Bain Jr., who I didn't think would fall this far. I said Ruben Bain would be picked somewhere. So I agreed with Cookie when Cookie said Ruben Bain Jr. can go anywhere from pick 5 to 15. And he went 15. I didn't think Ruben Bain was still going to be available here. I had him potentially going to the Giants, potentially going to the Dolphins, potentially going to the Cowboys. Like, I had a bunch of different places. I had him going to the Rams. If he fell to 13, I was like, I don't know how the Rams don't take him when they lost a guy like Aaron Donald in the last few years. So I thought, Ruben Bain, great thing to help them go up against the Seahawks, get some more defensive assistance. This would be great for the Rams. But the Rams, again, surprised a lot of us with the Ty Simpson pick. And again, I'm happy for Ty Simpson. I don't want to make people think I'm not happy for Ty. I'm very happy for Ty Simpson. I'm just kind of head-scratching here a little bit. Now, Ruben Bain going 15th, I had Akeem Mesidor because I thought Ruben would be gone, so I had his teammate from Miami, fellow edge rusher, Akeem Mesidor, going. Both of them have been on the show. I appreciate them both. Love the opportunity to talk with them and cover them this season. So much love to Ruben Bain Jr., as well as to Akeem Mesidor, the edge rushers for Miami, and of course, Francis C.C. Mauigoa, Carson Beck, and everybody I got to talk with on the team. So a Miami Hurricane edge rusher going to Tampa, Cookie and I both got that right. I just had Akeem Mesidor. so Ruben Bain still being available, but also the prediction that he would go between 5 and 15 was correct, and Cookie brought that up, and I agreed with him. The 16th pick is a head-scratcher. I thought the Jets would go defense, and based on what I had still available, I thought Dylan Thieneman would go, the safety that I covered and interviewed from the Oregon Ducks. The Jets threw us for a loop here, not that they haven't done this before, and they drafted Kenyon Sadiq, who's a teammate of Thieneman. So, again, I didn't get the player right, but I got the school right. I said they would draft an Oregon Duck, and they did. But, I said that they would draft Dylan Thieneman, but they drafted Kenyon Sadiq. But they're teammates that both played at Oregon together and were both in the college football playoff this past season. I think this was way too early to draft Kenyon Sadiq. I thought he was going to go a few picks later, and I didn't think that the Jets needed him as much as they needed other things. So, head scratcher here that the Jets had 2 picks in the top 16 and that they got a tight end this early. But they must have fallen in love with him. And again, shout out to Kenyon Sadiq for getting the opportunity. 17th pick, I had the Lions taking offensive tackle Caden Proctor. But in the draft itself, he had already gone, so they went to offensive tackle Blake Miller. So I'm not surprised here. Again, didn't get the player right, got the position right. I thought that the Lions would go O-line, D-line. I ultimately chose an offensive tackle for them, and that's what they chose. They went with offensive tackle Blake Miller. So, because Caden Proctor, who I had originally prognosticated to be there, was already gone. So, Dan Campbell going to the offensive line for Detroit, that makes sense to me. 18th pick, I had the edge rusher for the Vikings. I had them getting Keldrick Falk, and they ended up getting Caleb Banks. So I had them going defensive line, and they did go defensive line, as they went with Caleb Banks here, defensive tackle. So again, I thought that Minnesota would go to the defensive line, and I didn't have the exact name, but I had the position of defensive line. So again, when we look at these predictions, if the name isn't exactly right, I still look at, okay, did they go to that position itself? And that's what they did. So on the same wavelength of positionally going to the D line, not an edge rusher, but a D lineman. So that to me made sense. The 19th pick, I thought Kenyon Sadiq would go here. But with the Carolina Panthers seeing Kenyon Sadiq going 3 picks earlier, the Carolina Panthers went with offensive tackle Monroe Freeling. And so I can understand Carolina doing this. I thought Carolina would go defense or wide receiver. And then when I was going through the mock draft, I was like, all right, Kenyon Sadiq's there. They don't have a true number 1 tight end, that a guy that they consistently throw the ball to. So I thought maybe this would be an area that they would address. But with Kenyon Sadiq being gone, Monroe Freeling, offensive line, okay, you're going to protect your quarterback. I can understand it. The 20th pick, the Eagles traded up from 23 to 20, trading with their in-division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. I thought the Cowboys would take a wide receiver at this position. And I also thought the Eagles would take a wide receiver if they stayed at 23. And they did take a wide receiver. So the funny thing is, Dallas was at 20. I thought they'd take a receiver. Philly was at 23. I thought they would take a receiver. Philly traded up with Dallas to go from 23 to 20, and they got a receiver, and they got Makai Lemon, who I didn't think was still going to be available here. I thought he was going to go earlier. I thought the Chiefs were going to make a play for a wide receiver, potentially Makai Lemon, who I had predicted. So with the fact of him still being available, that makes sense. 21 is where I thought Ty Simpson would go here, in the very few spots that I thought we would see Ty Simpson. And with Ty Simpson not being available, they went with Max Ionacre, offensive tackle, who I thought would fall a little bit farther. I had the Steelers going quarterback, DB, O-line, or D-line. So they did address one of the needs that I thought they had. And with Ty Simpson gone, for them to go to offensive lineman, I can understand that. So at 22, the Chargers, I thought they would go with the next best available edge rusher, who I had as Derek Moore. Well, not necessarily, well, depends on where the rankings are. But keep in mind, Jim Harbaugh used to be the coach of the Michigan Wolverines. And who was available at edge rusher in my draft, because Akeem Mesidor was already gone, I had Derek Moore from Michigan. So I thought, all right, Jim Harbaugh, will he make this play? The fact that Akeem Mesidor was still available, again, I thought Akeem was going to go in the first round. I've been saying that for months. The fact he was still available at 22, I got the position right, edge rusher, just a different player, because in my draft, Akeem was going to go at 15 because I thought Reuben Bain was going to go a little bit sooner. The Dallas Cowboys, who traded with Philly down to 23, they get Malachi Lawrence, an edge rusher here from UCF. Shout out to UCF, who doesn't get the love that they should get, in my opinion. I thought the Cowboys were going to go wide receiver here. After the Cowboys earlier in the draft went safety, they went edge rusher. I'm okay with this because the Cowboys need help. The Cowboys have lost guys over time. So Malachi Lawrence, which was a name that came across my desk that I was not thinking about, and saw he was from UCF, and I just thought to myself, man, I've covered UCF for so many years. My brother Jason Lucas, big fan, he's covered UCF. He's done a lot of work when it comes to UCF. So in my opinion, I love when I see UCF guys go early and get the love because I don't think that they always get the respect that they deserve. The fact that Dallas addressed the defensive line instead of going to wide receiver, I actually think this could end up being a really good move for them because they have CeeDee Lamb and they have George Pickens, and they don't need a wide receiver as much as they need help on defense. So I would say they made a better move than I had anticipated, and I think that they're right in the move that they made. 24, I had going in, I'm looking at my draft right now. 24 for the Browns, I had Jared McCoy. I thought they would go corner. They get Casey Concepcion earlier than I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to go 2 picks later to the Buffalo Bills. And he went to the Browns. I think it's a good move by the Browns because the Browns need help in the receiving core and what Shedeur Sanders is going to be for the future, so I'm okay with that. Dylan Thieneman, who I said I covered from Oregon, he went so much earlier. Or pardon me, he went earlier in my draft, in the mock draft. He dropped to 25 to the Bears. I'm okay with the Bears doing this, building up their defense. I think they need to do that. I said Caleb Williams would have a better sophomore season than he had a freshman season in the NFL, and he did. So shout out to Caleb Williams because that prediction ended up coming true, and it was great for the Bears. They had a lot of comeback games. Bolstering up their defense will hopefully prevent them from having to come back in these games. The Chicago Bears defense used to be stout, used to be one of the defenses in the country perennially that you didn't want to cover. I think bringing in Dylan makes this defense better, and I'm hoping that Chicago will be able to hold teams down more so you don't need some last quarter heroics by Caleb Williams. Not that he can't do it, but you want to be on a team where you don't have to do it as much as Chicago had to do last year. 26th pick was supposed to be the Bills, and the Bills did what they did a couple years ago. In the Xavier Worthy draft that they had within these last few years, they traded down. They were in the 20s. They traded down. Then they traded down again. Then they traded down. Then they traded out of the first round. They did that again. Like this year, the Buffalo Bills did it again. They mirrored what they did a few seasons ago. They had a pick in the 20s. And they kept trading and trading and trading. When they said the pick was in, they traded it away and they traded it away. And so they made you think they were going to pick, and then it would be traded away. And they traded all the way out of the first round, just like they did to go to the early part of the second round. They did this a few years ago in the Xavier Worthy draft. They did it again here. So they don't draft 26th. Instead, the Texans move up 2 picks from 28 to 26, and they get Keelan Rutledge. And Keelan Rutledge going to them. Houston, I had 2 picks later. I had them taking an offensive lineman, and they did take an offensive lineman. They just took one that was not on my radar in Keelan Rutledge here for the first round. So Keelan Rutledge going to the Houston Texans. They draft the offensive guard, and so, definitely happy for him out of Georgia Tech, and happy to see a Georgia Tech player get some respect here in the draft at 26 overall. So great to see it. Just not something that I thought was going to happen. I didn't think Houston was going to have to trade up to get an offensive lineman. So a little bit of a head scratcher there, but obviously you trade with Buffalo, and you give Buffalo capital. Maybe they thought Rutledge was going to be taken before, but I thought they were going to go offensive line either way. I thought that they were potentially going to go Caden McDonald. So, to me, or I thought they were going to address the line, I should say, either way. So I thought they might have gone defensive line in Caden McDonald, but they didn't end up doing that. Ultimately, They went to the offensive side of the ball. And again, I don't know why they had to trade up 2 picks for it, but that's what they did. Then the Niners were supposed to be 27th, but the Dolphins traded up from 30 to 27, and the Dolphins end up taking Chris Johnson, which is really funny because that cornerback is who I predicted the Dolphins would take with their 30th pick. So they traded up to get Chris Johnson, which is the same guy I thought they were going to get 3 picks later, something that happened with Spencer Fano, and both of those picks were picks that Cookie also had. And then at 28th, the Patriots traded up from 31 to 28, so we saw a lot of trades late here. The Patriots, I thought, would go offensive line, but I thought that Caleb Lomu would be gone. They end up going with Caleb Lomu. They go up 3 spots to get him. I thought that they might take an offensive guard, but I had them taking an offensive line position, and they traded up to get Caleb Lomu. So offensive line, addressing that, protecting Drake May. I can understand it. And then Peter Woods. Trying to look to see if I had Peter going in the first round. I did. I had him going 27th. He ends up going 29th. Kansas City at 29th here ends up taking Peter Woods, who I thought was already going to be gone a couple picks before. So Kansas City addressed their defensive backs, so the back line, and then they addressed Peter Woods. So the front line and the back line of their defense they chose to address in the first round. I thought they were going to go Colton Hood at 29, but they had already taken a corner. So I thought they would take a corner with one of their first 2 picks of the 2026 NFL draft, which they did. So I thought Kansas City would go corner with one of their 2 picks in the first round, and they did. And they just did it a lot earlier than I thought. And then I thought they would go wide receiver, which they did not do, and they ended up going defensive tackle. The Jets traded back into the first round to give themselves not 1, not 2, but 3 picks in the first round, something they did a few years ago when I was also at Pizza Man, when the year that they drafted Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson II. They traded into the first round to get Jermaine Johnson II on their defensive line. This time they trade into the first round and take the Dolphins, the Dolphins traded up to 27, so the Dolphins traded with the Niners, and then the Jets end up getting the 30th pick, not the Niners. So the Niners did not have a first-round pick. And the Jets take Omar Cooper Jr. Am I surprised? No. They get another wide receiver. So I'm scratching my head about them drafting a tight end. I'm not scratching my head about David Bailey. Trading into the first round to get a wide receiver for the Jets makes sense to me. Omar Cooper Jr. is now going to be with Garrett Wilson. So with the Jets trading back in, I totally agree. Wide receiver. And Omar Cooper Jr., I agree with them picking him up as well. I think that's a good pick for them in the first round, because that's a guy that I toyed with going in the first round as well, and I thought that potentially he would go to the Cowboys. The 31st pick, the Titans get this pick, which is the pick that was originally for the Patriots, and the Titans take Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher that I thought was going to go a little bit earlier here. I said the Titans needed help throughout their defense as well as a running back and a wide receiver. They drafted a wide receiver, and then they came back in to assess their defense. So they did assess a need that I think they had, and they got Keldrick Falk, who I thought was going to go earlier in the draft here, as I mentioned before, going to the Vikings. So Tennessee getting back into the first round to take an edge rusher. Again, I thought they needed defensive help, and they got that. I love this pick by the defending national champion Seattle Seahawks. I love this pick. I thought they would take an offensive lineman with Max Inanacre if he was still available, but he wasn't because Pittsburgh took him when Ty Simpson went. So the fact that the Seahawks stayed in the first round and lost Kenneth Walker III to the Chiefs after winning a championship with Kenneth Walker, and that they stay in the first round and they draft the second running back of the 2026 NFL draft, and that they end up taking Jadarian Price, totally agree with this. I think it's a fantastic move for the national champion to fight for another title in the NFL. I think it was great. And the 2 Notre Dame running backs go in the first round. I think is awesome, which means Mike Washington Jr. very well could be the next running back off the board out of Central New York, out of CNS with the North Stars, and somebody who I consider a friend who's been on the show many times and sat here with me in the studio. I love that Jadarian Price went to the Seahawks. I love that they made this move at the end of the first round to bring in a running back after losing a running back and somebody that can hopefully start right away for them. So with that being said, we'll take our final step aside here on Wake Up Call after assessing the entire first round of the 2026 NFL Draft picks 1 through 32. We'll take a step aside and we'll finish things up right here from Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora right after this.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Head there to get closer to the players, teams, and games that you love. by going to 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave, Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. GG Cards and Breaks with hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, wrestling, and more, as well as Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, Pokemon, while supplies last. And speaking of supplies, they have everything that you need to protect your cards, travel with them, and showcase them. The one-stop shop where you get to be a big kid every single week is at GG Cards and Breaks. And you never know what you're going to open in those packs and boxes. And that's the fun of it. It's like Christmas morning every day. Make sure you head off to 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sundays from 10 to 5. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt is waiting for you to come and hang out with them and spend some time together. In their double drive-through, their massive parking lot, the giant brick building, you can order on the app. You can, of course, get catering as well from Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. Megan Sorber and her team are doing a tremendous job working in our community to provide for us one of the biggest Chick-fil-A's in the entire country, I believe, and the biggest one that we have here in Central and Upstate New York. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, with all those favorites you love, the original, the spicy, the grilled, on top of the fact that they have that mac and cheese, the shakes, and their new frosted beverages. Head to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, where they love to serve you.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Want to thank you for being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time and beyond, as it's past noon today, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And of course, many thanks to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube for allowing Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to be on their channel so you can watch and listen in these. You can listen in all of these places, and of course you can watch on YouTube. Make sure you search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, to check us out on your favorite platform today. And many thanks to our wonderful partners in Central and Upstate New York. Make sure you support them at Great Lakes Honda City, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Brian's Landing, K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, thanks for having us last night, Myers Creek on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, and in the Syracuse Inner Harbor on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. Chick-fil-A Cicero, Game Point Sports Complex, Avicoli's, Gray's Craze of Clay, New York, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Willow Rock Brewing Company, and the Willow Rock Pizza Pub, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find the Bearcats every Tuesday during Bearcat time at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hanging out with the Bearcats here where sports meets life. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni call Wake Up Call home. And you can find all of our content by going to youtube.com / wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I got a gift yesterday from Jeff Cookie Cook, and I want to thank him for this. So I got some really, really cool things from him. This looks like a computer disc. This actually looks like a GameCube disc, which is really, really awesome. It's a Fred Taylor card that looks like a disc that you would insert somewhere. Just a really awesome card. You know, I'm a big Fred Taylor fan. Got a bunch of Fred Taylor cards. And then this is a first team fabric of Jimmy Smith, which is really cool here. Love Jimmy Smith. Of course, I love the teal. And then it's got the number one there for first team fabric. And then this is a card. I don't think I have a card that has this many players on here. This is a game-worn jersey card of 4 different players from the greatest era of Jaguars football. So it's a thicker card, but it's not like a thick card, which you think it would be with all of these pieces being in it. There's 4 pieces of jerseys here. So these are all game-worn jerseys, authentic. So we have Mark Brunell's jersey, Keenan McCardell's jersey, Jimmy Smith's jersey, and Fred Taylor. So you can see that it's a piece of everybody. So Keenan McCardell's is white, Mark Brunell's is teal, Fred's is teal, and then Jimmy's has maybe part of a number there or his name as white and black. So this is a game-worn jersey card, which I'm happy to get a game-worn jersey card of 1 player. This has 4 players from Jaguars history on 1 card. Never seen a card like this, and just wanted to shout out Cookie because I love you and I appreciate you. And it just means a lot to me that, you know, you think of me. It's just when somebody thinks of you and, you know, they call you or they text you or they do something nice for you, like Cookie did here, or they show up for you like Cookie did last night and Al Romano did. Like, I mean, these are not people that are being paid to come out here. You know, they've worked all day, they've done stuff all day, they've ran around all day, and then they make time for me. They show up for me out of the goodness of their heart, and that means the world. And on top of that, Cookie brings me those cards. So let's not forget all the people in our lives that show up consistently, the ones that give their time, their energy, and that ask for absolutely nothing. Al and Jeff didn't ask me for anything. Didn't ask me to buy them dinner, didn't ask for money, didn't ask for a favor, nothing. They showed up last night because I wanted to do the draft with them, and I asked them if they would be there. And I want to thank everybody that's shown up for me over the years. And then on top of that, Cookie's like, hey, I got these for you. So I just really appreciate everything that they do. And I just really appreciate the kindness and the generosity. It just means the world to me. So thank you for that. And thank you to the Romano family and the Cook family for just being wonderful. It means the world to me. To know that you're thought of is special. And then to have somebody do something nice for you while thinking about you and to show up for you, that's above and beyond just being thought of. I would appreciate just being thought of, to cross somebody's mind in a positive way. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Al. Thank you to the Delia family. Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Heather. Thank you to everybody. Noreen at Pizza Man Pub. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a beautiful day. I have a great weekend, a packed weekend. My little sister is going to be playing this Saturday with Lemoyne on the road at CCSU. If they win, then they will host the entire NEC women's lacrosse tournament at Lemoyne, which would be amazing. And I know we're hoping to be able to see her in Syracuse, New York. So a lot of great stuff coming up. I hope you have a beautiful day. God bless you all. I hope all my friends get their names called in the NFL draft, and we could very well have one called tonight. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Please have a beautiful day. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Shout out to Mike Washington Jr., who's having a draft party at Turning Stone today. You'll find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, once again, God bless. No stress. Do your best. Have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself.